the devil shows
Yeah.
out to be the devil. I said, oh yeah, that's quote of the year because it's true. So it's like as soon as I start recording, this is when like all hell breaks loose. Like, is this a sign?
Well, you and I believe in that thing because that was the whole point we were arguing about the Vince McMahon stuff when people were like, I can't believe these allegations. I'm like, did 30 years of TV not show you someone's hand? Or, when someone does something like obviously the Drake Kendrick stuff with the whole, it took a guy in a song to be like, something is going on with that guy in young women, right? I never realized it. It's people like to be naive so they can act surprised on the internet, but we all know that these days, at least smart people. I don't like to call myself a smart person, but I'm not a dumbass who's like, let me act shocked so I can get engagement and potentially go viral. But
Oh, like people talking about that Hulk Hogan thing. First of all, you see, I can't say what I said about Hulk Hogan on these airways, but I said, dog, color or not, you see this fucking woman? Even racists like black women.
no, well,
Sometimes.
that's when it's real to him. That's how you know he's a real racist because he saw that woman and still said, he did the no Hulk Hogan Hulk up when he saw her delivering his product. He was doing the no, like,
That doesn't work for me, nigga. That's what he
yeah,
said. But it's like,
he
bro, you got to be a real racist because I don't give a fuck if I'm racist. I'm standing next to her. I don't like white women. But if I'm standing next to fucking
that's a
Tiffany
lie.
Stratton, no, I can't absolutely stand the way that they walk, the way that they talk, the way that
No,
they
no, no.
dress.
That is
No,
all
but
right.
you
First of
didn't
all,
let me finish. If I'm standing next to Tiffany Stratton,
sit down, Ralph.
if I'm sitting next to Tiffany Stratton or Liv Morgan, that's different.
All right, Tiffany Stratton, because it's funny. A guy I follow, he lives here in Minnesota as well, so he knows what Minnesota women look like. Tiffany Stratton looks like no, and I say this in a way like she is because this was his tweet like she's the top tier like Minnesota woman like which means a woman who's
They
going to
got
be
more of them.
in. You can see them around, but the whole point is, I've talked about this before, but the whole point is someone like her, and that she came from CrossFit. They're going to be into CrossFit. They're going to have for the longest time when I showed up, they all had the same. The roots were brown, but then the rest of it was blonde. That style. My dad was like, they all had the same fucking hairstyle. It was like, and I'm like, what? What do you mean? And I was like, when I went to this one school to finish the rest of that semester, I was like, holy shit! Like 4 women in my class had it, and then 3 in the next class had it. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? They all just like give me that hairstyle. And she kind of when she showed up, she still had that, and now I think she's just gone the full platinum blonde, but. And they want to spend days on the lake drinking fucking White Claws and country music and all that. And so she's like the top tier of that. The rest are like that, but don't look as good as her, is the point I'm trying to make. So that's what you'd have to deal with personality wise. I mean, you and her could work out together, but other than, I mean, you do like country. You know what? I don't know.
But I
You
hate
beyond
White
that.
Claw. White Claw is just white
You've
woman
had one?
tendency. No, that's just white woman tendency.
Yeah.
The only woman of color, as Sasha Banks would say, I've seen with White Claw is a great woman, but I don't want to say who, what city, what she does. But yeah, phenomenal woman. Not mentally, but what woman is phenomenal mentally in house. She looks great, but I'll say off air who it is.
I like you threw in the Sasha Banks slander because that's still always in your trap card,
I
like
saw it in
activated.
person, brother. Y'all can't fool me. I'm about to start
No,
cutting
but
their
you
ass.
know what I mean. But no, the whole what she did say a woman of color in that documentary, and it was like, yeah, well, I mean, we've talked about this before about
Have you ever talked to a
in
woman of color?
fuck you.
No, you talk to black women.
If a woman said she was a woman of color, I kind of that's the thing where like I gotta be like offended of like, what do you mean by that? Like,
Yeah, because what color?
um,
That's a broad structure.
well, I told you that I tweeted this. I don't think I told you. So when that Eminem song, the Houdini song, dropped last month, my white coworker asked me, like, "Did you hear that new Eminem dropped?" And I want to be like, "Sir, what gave you that impression?" Like
It's definitely the haircut, the glasses, the
racial
like.
profiling. Again, I don't look like
Ooh,
this at work. At work, I'm hoodie mellow, and I'm like, "Don't fucking talk to me." Like That's me at work. It's like that's me in real life because you see me at places and I'm like, don't fucking talk to me, and I look like this. So it's like,
No, I'm with you 1,000%. We the same. We twinning them, as they say in Atlanta, because I'm the same exact way. And out of work, at work, just like bro, like I hate making eye contact and talking to people unless it's like we have to.
but I did hear that. I actually did hear that song like 3 minutes before he asked me. I was like, this is the biggest piece of shit I've heard in a long fucking time.
Like, listen, I'm not one of these people.
Abracadabra. I'm gonna reach in my bag and I'm like, what the fuck is going? What year is this?
The fact that you remember is crazy, dude.
Because I was like, I could see why he thought it was clever. Be like, I'm gonna reach in my bag like a magician, my bag, get it again. Because that's Eminem's whole thing is get it wordplay, skippity dee, as Mara would say, like, which is the Kendrick Lamar thing. Like, all I hear on They Not Like Us is like, damn, this is Eminem shit with like. For like quarters of it, not the whole thing, like little pockets. He does that thing of like the wordplay is bended. I'm like, this again, this is a lot of like, you could tell this guy was influenced by Marshall Mathers to an extent.
Dude, yeah, 20 now for real. Because I said that years ago. I said he's just
I think he's admitted that though.
Eminem. Yeah, he's basically just Eminem, but what's the best way to say it? Not smarter, because that'd be like disrespectful towards Eminem.
No, I think he is, because he can do more than the Eminem. Like everyone always says, he can do more than my mom, my Haley. Like, you know, my wife's a bitch. Like Kendrick Lamar can do more than that, as we've seen the last 2.5 months.
Yeah, he's like see, now I'm thinking about it because he is like Eminem, but I feel like he got somebody else style in one. Maybe I can't even say Nas, maybe not, but it's definitely a hybrid of somebody else. But he is
that would make sense in a way, just in terms of like, and I don't mean this to be condescending, but that realness that Nas has is probably what you're saying. Like, it's like someone being real and speaking the truth, or what they believe to be the truth, and then also having the ability to be comedic and, again, word bending. Like, that's the whole point. Like, so it's been almost 2 months, I think, since the last time I recorded. That's on me. If you want to hear Banks, check out RLP's bonus episodes. You and Amp have been killing those. Shout out to RLP in general. I caught up on the last few weeks of episodes this past like Wednesday or Thursday, and listening to that at work is not smart. I have my headphones in, but still, like, people can just see me laugh, and I'm just like, this is some of the craziest shit I've heard. When Devin said he was the king of the studs and he was gonna challenge you for the king of the studs title, I was like, I gotta be your wise man. Like, we gotta make that match happen. Make the match happen. Like,
yeah, no, you definitely gotta be wise, man. You definitely gotta be wise than that.
My client.
Thanks.
Oh, I mean, but again, I think you have a chance, because if Joe picked him up and put him in the torture rack, I think you could do just the same.
You know how heavy them women are, whatever they identify as.
No, I'm talking about you versus Devin. I'm saying if Joe could put him in a torture rack in a face-off, and then you versus Stud, I don't know. Again, I gotta tap out of that. That's a
whole lot. That's a whole lot of whatever they identify as, brother.
When Brittany Griner talks, I'm like, I'm scared. Like, how is your voice? Injections. But still, how is your voice that deep where it's like, damn, like, yeah. And then again, she's the tallest woman on the court, so I'm even more scared because easy work.
Remember, she kissed Kevin Durant.
You think that was like the Brock Lesnar "give me a kiss" to Chris Jericho? Like, give me a kiss, pussy. Come on, like.
No, that was something totally different, brother. How she did that.
Oh, you think he's what's kumsa? Like, kumsi kumsa?
No, she kumsi kumsa.
Oh, it's a gimmick, you think?
Yeah, she was trying to get part of the Durantula.
That child would have probably 7'2" wingspan at least.
7'8".
And then with the ability to post and shoot. Yeah.
essentially is Victor Wembanyama.
Or I watched the first episode of that sprint show on Netflix, and Noah Lyles, his girlfriend is a Jamaican sprinter, and I'm like, again, this might be a setup because like you are gonna give birth to like the next fastest human to ever live potentially in scenarios like that.
What's this documentary? What's the name of it?
It's on Netflix. It's Sprint. It documents the sprinters for the that are going to be competing in the Olympics. It's him, Sha'Carri, and all the other people that compete like in the 400, the relay, the 100, and all that.
You said Sha'Carri. I'm sold. I'll be watching.
Yeah, but no, like I said, you've been killing on our OP's bonus episodes. You and Eve just got back on Wiretap. That was a classic. Shout out to Eve, Black Announce Table, all of them. But yeah, no, we've just been off. I've just been off, I should say, taking some time for myself. But a lot's been happening. The last time we talked, the finals hadn't started, and it was the final. It ended up being the final. Yeah, it was still the Eastern Conference Finals. And it was the finals that you dreaded. It was the Boston Celtics 3-3-3, 3-3-3, repeat offense, beating the Dallas Mavericks. We then had the worst NBA draft probably since 2013, at least. JJ Redick got hired as the Lakers coach, which is fucking hilarious still. You and Eve talked about that a little bit. I still can't believe someone who thinks they're that smart made such a stupid decision. You know what I mean? Like, you think you're so fucking smart, like you can coach this team with LeBron James. First of all, no one can coach a LeBron James team. It's impossible. Only Ty Lue could.
And they don't even have a team anyway to begin with.
Exactly.
Essentially the same exact. No, except for Bronny, they got.
All right. The Bronny James thing. Let's. Because yesterday again he had a shitty performance, which wasn't a fucking surprise. Not because it's Summer League. This kid has been put in the worst situation of someone. I can't remember someone who got put in this bad of a spot. Because in college, it got off on the wrong foot with the heart stuff. Like, damn, is this kid even going to be able to play professional sports at all with this? We saw what happened to Jeff Green. He missed a whole year. And he kind of rebounded in a way. His style was always going to be good one game, bad the next. But the Bronny James thing got started off on the wrong foot. He was already going to a school where, like, it wasn't the best basketball school for him. Again, USC is not known for its basketball, except that OJ Mayo, DeMar DeRozan tenure in which they had a couple, got Taj Gibson for a couple years. But he's a guy who needs development. He needs solid time in college or the G League. And the way they did this of like telling teams not to pick him in the second round, then why don't you just pick him in the first round? Because he's not a first round talent. I'm like, then don't act like this isn't sabotage, because it is.
Experience is the best teacher when you go through something sort of like, well, RIP, the great Alpha. What Roman Reigns said in that documentary is when he was a jit, he threw him at the deep end of the pool. It's kind of like the same thing when he was working for his sister. He was like, you want to work with your sister the rest of your life? That's it. It's the same thing with Bronny. We know the last name just, exceeds basketball. So even if he would have went to college for 4 years, it's still like, well, you ain't like your dad. He went straight from high school to the pros. Or you here for 4 years, what's going on? So with him, it's kind of like, you got to do it now or never, to be honest. You got to strike while the iron is hot, because let's say if he plays 4 years, who knows if they pick him up in 4 years, because his dad might not even be in the league in 4 years. Hell, he shouldn't be in the league after this year, because I think it's done. You get to play with your son, and then after that, just call it, because there's nothing else to do. You already passed 40,000 points. But with him, it's kind of like, you got to go now. It's the best experience. I think he's going to be a good NBA player.
I don't.
The ceiling is, I think he could be 12 points per game. That's a good NBA player.
To me, and it goes against what you just said, where like, yeah, he needed 4 years because no matter what, he's never going to be as good as his dad. That's always going to be unfair. Like, it happened to Jack Nicklaus's kids in golf. It happens to, baseball play. Like, when Ken Griffey Jr. showed up, they're like, well, he might not be as good as his dad. And sometimes the dad's like, no, he's already going to be better than me. Except Tiger Woods' son is going to deal with this. He's kind of dealing with it right now. But in the next 2 years, he's really going to deal with it, Charlie Woods. But the whole point about the Bronny thing was that final year of high school, everyone's like, this kid's not him in any sense. Like, he might not even be a rotation player just because he's undersized for his skill set, and his skill set isn't even that good. Like, he's not a pure point guard. He's not a good shooter. He's okay athletically, but again, he's 6'1", barely 6'2". And you could see it last night. Like, he got knocked down twice. I had the game on a little bit, but like these screens, they said dude just knocked him on his ass. Like, he doesn't have that, man strength yet, which no one does at that age right away. But when you're going to be that short in that week, going against guys who are going to be bigger, stronger, faster, and you don't even have a passing skill set, a shooting skill set to survive in terms of why you have a role on this team, he's going to be dead in the water. And I hate that because it's unfair to him. Because I agree with what people are saying, like, white people have used nepotism for years. Everyone kept saying the Jones family. First of all, the Jones family, when was the last time the Cowboys won the fucking Super Bowl? Okay. That's the Jones family fault. No, I'm saying that because they don't hire outside people to run the team. It's the same people from the same family tree agreeing with the same guy's decisions of here's what we do. Yes, Dad. Look at what happened to WWE until they brought in Nick Khan. Again, I always say all the time, they love the international PLEs. Where were they the last 20 fucking years? It took fucking Nick Khan to be like, do you know there's an outside market here that we can tap in and make millions? But Stephanie and Triple H are like, yes, Vince. Yeah, whatever you say. Yeah. Triple H is doing that to an extent. Go ahead.
Sometimes when you are a prominent figure, like, I understand what you mean because I agree. Sometimes when you're a prominent figure, like a Jerry Jones and Vince McMahon, you can't say nothing but yes.
Mm-hmm. But that's the thing. But then you're never going to succeed again. And this is why the LeBron James thing, he contradicts his own success because, yeah, he's been able to go to 3 different teams and win 3 titles, but then they've been sabotaged in the wake after winning those titles. Like, look at the Heat team after those 2 titles. Look at the Cavs after those titles, after that title. And look at the Lakers currently since that bubble title. It's like you just said, they have no one. And I listen to these podcasts and people are like, could Paul George have joined the Lakers this year? Could DeMar DeRozan? Guys don't want to go play with him. That's always been the case since the Miami team. Anthony Davis was the only guy like, yeah, I'll go play for LeBron because I'm tired of doing the work myself.
Also, it's just a fucking hassle to live in LA, dude. Think about the 2 people.
No, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George picked the other side of LA in 2019 instead of let's team up with LeBron.
Well, it's more money on that side too. You're right, but also just look at what's going on now. Like, dude, this inflation thing is weird. It's real. I will say we are. I hate to sound depressing, like I always say, but we are on the cusp of another Great Depression. It's bound to happen, especially in an election year. It always happens during election year. History has shown that nothing is new under the sun. People just fail to realize that because they just living their little happy life. La la, I'm on my social media and I'm watching my TV and everything. No, it's real. But this year, I can truly say after DeMar going to Sacramento, and I mean it's still California, so it's high property taxes, sales taxes, etc. But the thing is, it's a little bit easier to live in the Bay than LA. Or that's not, it's the Bay, but it ain't the Bay. If y'all want me to start that whole conversation,
well, actually, and it's getting just as expensive in the Bay Area too. That's kind of the problem that the Warriors are facing with the Klay Thompson decision. But ultimately they made the right decision, and Dallas made the wrong decision.
No, I think they made the right decision, and we could talk about that in a minute. But with Paul George going to 76ers, I think more so too. Trust me, again, these areas are expensive areas, Sacramento and Philadelphia, but it ain't LA expensive if that makes sense. And let me digress into that. Not only am I paying high property taxes, but to move around is kind of expensive as well. Just because if you see what's going on in my hometown of Los Angeles, you understand what's going on with people with money and without one. So it's like it's the convenience of trying to do anything. It's such a hassle. So if I'm from there, why would I keep staying there or go back to it? And that's what we're seeing. But what Davis is saying is very accurate. Nobody wants to go to the Lakers because it's the Lakers. You got to deal with the bullshit fans. You got to deal with the hassle of being on the Laker uniform and what comes with that. And then they don't have good management. You see what's going on
Mhm.
with Jeannie Buss and Rob. Like, dude, they can't get anybody, and they haven't for years. But I have a whole conspiracy about that. I've been saying for a while they don't mind paying LeBron because they have no choice because they got all
Yeah.
this money, and nobody wants to come over there because again, it's so expensive to be in LA for more than one reasons outside of just money. But besides that, they don't want LeBron to win. I think they genuinely want this dude to just, all right, cool, you're gonna come here. People gonna pay to come see you. That's fine, but we don't want you to win. Because the thing is, with the Lakers, they're the most profitable NBA team in history, despite the Celtics having more titles. They're the most known. But at this point, because they aren't ran properly, they just don't care about particularly winning, but they are, drawing money. And I think LeBron understands that they don't care about winning right now. He's just cool with making his money, being on the team with his son, but they're not going to make the playoffs this next season. They're not going to even make the play in.
No, I agree, and that's why everything they've done this offseason. And I don't like to shit on Lakers fans. No offense to Antonio, but
I
it's
do.
that thing where, it's like, all right, the JJ Redick hiring, and you talked about like, yeah, we don't know what type of coach he's going to be, and all the history shows like these guys who come in with no coaching experience, it's very shaky. Everyone forgets that Steve Kerr was a general manager first and then was a broadcaster. So he knew what it was like to at least run a team. The fact that they hired Nate McMillan and Scott Brooks to be his assistant coaches shows they're like, this guy has no experience. Let's get these guys who have
Right.
experience.
And not to
But
cut you off, those are
go
two
ahead.
guys that should be main coaches. And if I'm not mistaken, both of them are coaches of the year, being Nate McMillan and Scott Brooks. Definitely Scott Brooks.
Scott Brooks at one point, I think Nate McMillan had to, at least in one of his early tenures, had to be, or did he win that year in Atlanta? It's that thing where like they release contenders, if not winners. They at least for like second or third place. But that's the thing, they hired those guys to be babysitters, basically. The Celtics had to do that with Joe Mazzulla the past year. Because again, he was a guy who came in, even though he was a coach, but he still needs some guidance in terms of learning the job on the fly. And like I said, JJ Redick thinks because he could do podcasting and call games on TV, like he know, like, oh, here's how I would have made that substitution. You're going to go to a team where LeBron James is the coach, so every coaching decision you're going to make is going to be null and void. That's why I'm like, if you're so fucking smart from Duke University, why'd you take this job? Because he's also a whore for the spotlight as well. And I'm saying this as someone who liked his Old Man and the Three podcast. I didn't bother to listen to that podcast him and LeBron did together, which was the whole fucking rollout for this hiring. But still, it's like, let's be real.
Also,
Like this isn't going to be a good coaching job for anyone, no matter not JJ Redick or not. Whoever's going to take this job is going to have to deal with LeBron's bullshit, the bus bullshit, like you just said, and the media/fan bullshit. And the fact that you get Bronny James just to sell tickets and jerseys is even worse because it's all one big photo opportunity. It's going to be a season for photos about him handing him the ball or him throwing an alley oop to his dad. It's all a fucking photo op for 82 games, even though he's not going to be on the main roster the whole time, but still.
also too, side note, Scott Brooks, yeah, coach of the year 2010, not Nate McMillan, but still known coach in the NBA. Coach the Trailblazers, if I'm not mistaken. I just looked at it. But with Scott Brooks, he also is for French Camp, California, which is by Stockton, right by
Really? Oh
Stockton.
shit. That kind of
Yeah, he,
explains he you know what? He's got a little Jeremy Renner to him. Yeah, that kind of makes some sense in
yeah, the
terms of his
haircut.
look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely
Well,
the
I
haircut.
think his attitude as well, but it's that, and I think you're wrong in saying those guys should still be coaches because I think the way the NBA works out now, it's the same thing with the NFL. Where
It's
like,
bullshit. That's how it works out now.
no, I mean, I don't think we should hire retreads as coaches. Like Nate McMillan had his time. We know what he's capable of. It's done. Scott Brooks had his time. We know what he's capable of. It's done. And JJ
But
Redick, at least he's someone new. He's someone new. And the NFL saw that this past year where it's like, why did Bill Belichick not get a shot? at another job, and there's a whole like Robert Kraft was sabotaging him behind the scenes. But I think people are like, this guy, maybe his time in the Sun's done. We know, especially the last 3 years, the post Brady years, people are like, this guy really hasn't shown he's capable of doing that much in football anymore. And Pete Carroll, it was the same thing where he knew his time was up. We're gonna see it with Popovich this year because what the Spurs are trying to do is still fucking baffling.
No, I think the move that was made last night with getting DeMar to Sacramento for that trade with Harrison Barnes going to the Spurs and the Bulls. I really fucking hate y'all. Like me and Tim said in the text message last night, I watch football and baseball. I won't be watching the Bulls this season. Thank you very much. I barely watched them last season. I won't be watching them this season. But I digress.
And they traded Caruso and got Josh Giddey, so they got rid of a guy who is a jack of all trades in terms of offense and defense for a guy who can't shoot at all.
Yeah, he just, I guess, a playmaker if we want to say that. I don't know, but listen, this ain't Bulls talk. This time,
No, because the other thing is Alonzo Ball's gonna be back, so
yeah, who gonna pass to Zach LaVine? Nobody wants
to
take
Josh
Zach
Giddey.
LaVine. Yeah, thank you, bro. Thank you, Steve. It's like, though, we done. It's like we're gonna pass to Josh Giddey or we're gonna pass to Zach LaVine. Nobody wants Zach LaVine. Him and Trae Young should be players that should be sought after in the free agency. Nobody like
but no one wants them. It's a thing of like, what am I gonna do if you're useless because all you want to do is jack up shots and not pass the ball or play defense.
But if I'm the Lakers, bro, you got D'Angelo Russell who thinks he is Trae Young.
That's why they're gonna trade that man. That the whole point was they signed him that deal.
What?
No team wanted him. That was the point. They thought last year that they signed D'Angelo Russell to a deal that was basically friendly for them to trade him. And teams were like, why the fuck would we get D'Angelo Russell? And that's when LeBron, the GM, was like, shit. Oh, damn it. Fuck. Like, yeah, what have I done? Yeah. Because here's the thing about LeBron. Kevin Durant's worse at this, though. What's the best situation for me? LeBron at least goes to teams that win the title. Kevin Durant goes to teams and doesn't win the title after Golden State. Like, it's the worst situation to be like, I'm gonna pick the pieces because Kevin Durant's like, I got Kyrie, DeAndre Jordan. That's not enough. We need James Harden. And then they were like, who else should we get? Broken down Blake Griffin, broken down LaMarcus Aldridge. Do you like broken down Goran Dragic? How about broken down Paul Millsap? Like, and then he gets to Phoenix. He's like, we should get Brad Beal, a guy who's like Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan. Like, this guy just gets his numbers, goes home. That's it. And I like Bradley Beal, but that's his
of both of them.
Yeah, but that's his demeanor. So I clock in, I get my 20, I clock out.
And that's
since those John Wall years,
because it's like, dude, it's
of course
basketball. Who's gonna be the point guard? You can't put Devin Booker as the point guard.
You and I will always argue about Devin Booker, yeah, in terms of his skill set and if he's good or not.
He's good, but he's not who he thinks he is. He's all right. In the words of Jay, he's all right, but he's not real.
But the rest of the Suns were like, yeah, like when the fans are like, we gotta play Bol more, and the coach is like, no Bol. It's like, that's all you got.
Right. Far as a big man. And he could play. I just don't get it with him still. Like, I don't understand why.
It's because coaches get embarrassed. Like, the fact that, I mean, and everyone's not going to be Wembanyama. And they don't even have the same skill set because Wembanyama literally is like, I'll take my L's. I did not expect him to be this good right away. I mainly thought he was going to get injured right away because
I don't know why you thought that. It ain't too many 7-footers walking around. Pause.
Well, I think more on the offensive side in terms of like he actually can shoot. He actually can handle the ball in the NBA. Because in Europe, it is slowed down. Like Lucas says, like that's why he can dominate in the NBA because his change of pace throws guys off. And then they also play different defense in the Euros compared to the NBA, where like you have to play kind of tighter, closer man-to-man defense. And he said something one time on JD Wright's podcasting about how there isn't the 5-second rule in the paint. Because I think he said like in Europe, Rudy Gobert could park in the paint and it's not a violation. That's how he could probably dominate over there, or why he was when he got picked. But the whole point is like the guy who got picked number 1 this year in the draft, the Ricochet guy. It's like the Hawks took
his name? That's crazy.
Well, the Hawks took him because they saw Giannis' potential in terms of like, this guy, he's long, he's raw, we can teach him the game. It's like that worked out one time. And even the Bucks are like, how the fuck did this work out? When Giannis progressed every single year, bit by bit with an element of his game, I think the Hawks were like, instead of just taking the obvious top 2 guys from college, you're like, let's take the project because we're not going to be good anyway. Because like you said, Trae Young, we're either going to keep him and tank or get rid of him and tank. That's why what the Knicks did, getting Mikal Bridges, I'm like, this is the stupidest fucking decision I've ever seen from a team that was close to the Eastern Conference Finals. Because now you have no big man and you're going to trot out 4 guys that went to college together as your fucking selling point with a coach who fucking kills guys' careers. Come on. I mean, let's face it, the Knicks, they're going to be bad in 2 years.
No, they got a young team. How are they going to be bad?
They're going to be.
And I keep forgetting if Mitchell Robinson. Look, they got Mitchell Robinson if he can stay healthy.
Who's injured? Who's always injured?
Yeah, because the Isaiah, the Black King, he hurt. Apparently, I didn't know until recently he was black. That caught me way off guard. I'm like, damn.
But he's playing for the Thunder now.
And it's like, dude, the rich keep getting richer, don't they?
But then that was a smart decision. Again, the Thunder are like, we need a backup big because that's why they lost to the Mavericks. They had no bigs to
Wait,
throw
didn't
at.
They just get Steven Adams too in the offseason? Didn't he come back? Or am I bugging?
No, I think he signed an extension with Memphis. Yeah.
I thought I was bugging. Wait, hold on.
No, I'm pretty sure because I was also like, it's Steven Adams in 2024. It's not that big a deal. Yeah, coming off an injury more. That's why coming off an injury at his age, at this point, it's like big men are what they are at this point. He's gonna add something.
His middle name is Funaki.
No,
with the Rockets. That's
a weird. Too. That's weird though. Yeah, considering the bigs they have.
Good too.
Well, the Rockets will be the team. Will be what. I mean, they had the potential to be what Minnesota was the last 2 years in terms of like the team that shows up as the 8th, 7th seed, and then the next year competes in the 3 to 4 seed range.
Yeah, no, the Rockets just need a small forward, I think.
Oh, because they have a real coach.
Who?
Like, say what I'm about being a nasty man. Ime Udoka's a real coach.
Yeah, they almost made the play-in. He's that good.
Yeah.
With the talent that they have, and it's not to say they got bad talent; they just got young talent.
They had talent, and they have talent that wasn't utilized correctly.
Dylan Brooks is they missing. They might be missing a point guard because Jalen Green showed up.
They drafted the white guy. He's their point guard, but he's a shooter. That's the thing. He's 6'1" and a shooter, playing guard. Yeah. When does that work out, Banks?
Yeah, and then especially if you're a white point guard.
Yeah. Well, no, again, he's not. It's just guard. It's like again, I saw Jimmer Fredette tank for the Kings, and he only tanked because Keith Smart was like, we don't play this guy. I'm like, play this guy. You have nothing to lose.
Yeah. No, he's a hell of he deserved better when he went to the Pelicans as well. He shouldn't have got some playing time. I'm always been a Jimmer Fredette guy. I think he would have. Shit, he probably would have averaged 30 in this NBA.
Well, he was slowly doing it for the Knicks G League team, the Westchester Knicks, and then they were bringing him up for the real Knicks. And I think at that point, it was just like he got it in his mindset, like, I'm just going to go overseas. And then, of course, he killed it in China because no one's going to be able to stop him from shooting at any range. But the whole point of the guy that the Rockets took is like he's a legit dead-eyed shooter. He's just undersized, even though he had again sneaky good athletic ability, as Jay Billis said it. I'm like, oh, sneaky, huh? Okay, thanks, pal. Like, yeah, we get it. He's white and he can actually jump to an extent, but still, and all these teams made terrible decisions, except the Nets. The Nets were smart to sell Mikal Bridges and get the Knicks' future because the Knicks will be bad in 2 years. and they'll have good picks on a team that will need to be. It's already going to be rebuilt anyway, but still they're going to be able to add to it. But it's just all set up for the Boston Celtics to repeat, if we're being honest. And I think that's probably what's going to bore you about this upcoming season is that like this team kept all their key guys. They re-signed Tatum. They re-signed White. Drew Holiday's still going to be there. Kristaps, if he's healthy, he's going to be there. But again, he's never healthy. Al Horford I think he said he's coming back for one more. And then Jaylen Brown, showed everyone he was worth that big ass contract. And their coach proved to everyone he wasn't a failure. And they're going to repeat because the East, as long as Doc Rivers is coaching a team, they're never going to be good. So the Bucks, they're out. The Miami Heat, they don't know who their new superstar is because they might want to get rid of Jimmy Butler. They're out. The Indiana Pacers, that offense, no defense isn't going to work. The Knicks, again, runs guys into the ground. So the East is already cooked in terms of like who's going to beat Boston. And then it's the West is like legit, like it's a Mexican standoff, like everyone's pointing guns at each other and firing at the same time.
Who didn't see? The thing is, I watched the draft, but I'm like, who are these? Because Memphis got somebody else. Who they got? Another guard?
Memphis took the big ass center from Purdue.
What's the dude name? The big white
Zach
dude?
Edey. Yeah, Zach Edey. Well, he's not white. I think he's half white. I can't remember if he's half Japanese or Korean.
Who was that one white kid everybody kept talking about?
The guy that looks like Gunter?
Yeah.
Portland took him, which is weird because they have Ayton and Robert Williams.
Well, Ayton's on his way out because I don't want to call that young man a bum, but he don't care.
No, that's why Phoenix got rid of him because he's a guy who, like Andrew Bynum, he was just big playing basketball. And it was easy to him.
Let me do my research. You familiar with this name, Tyler?
No, because again, when I watched the draft, the whole point was like, I don't know any of these guys, so I got to figure out who these guys are while I'm watching it.
Okay, he's a New York guard. They just got him.
And that's why I was confused.
See, this is my thing. Like I watch. Everybody knows I watch college basketball. I watch a real team called UNC, but I watch other teams. Like, all right. So all bullshit aside, Duke has what's the kid's name? Jared. I forgot his last name.
McCain.
He's gonna be rookie of the year. I keep telling Imp that kid is gonna average 20 points his entire career. If he can stay healthy, he has a 20-year. The
Caleb career. Williams of the NBA.
Yeah. He has a 20-year career ahead of him where he can average 20 points because he just shoots. And then when it's time to drive, he drives. And it's not like he has athleticism where he needs to dunk. He just drives, gets a layup. That'll get you 200 million, or in today's NBA, 400 million.
Yeah, it will get you 200 million.
Yeah, but no, I'm saying, but he can be, that's what they really need over there. Because now you got a Paul George who has to have the ball in order to score. You got to dribble 1,000, and I love Paul George. You got to dribble 1,000 times.
No, they don't have Paul George. They got the bully, Paul George. That's who they got. They got the guy who's, enough is enough. It's time for a change. That's the Paul George they have. They have the Paul George who is sick of this shit because he's proved everyone right over the last 10 years.
Real quick, Jermaine, don't let me start talking about the WNBA alone, let alone that draft.
No, we will at the end. I know that's why we've been off. Banks was following the Chicago. He was following the Chicago Sky.
I'll be at the game on Thursday.
The past 2 months. That's why I went on his girl.
I'll be at the Liberty game on Thursday.
As Eve said, Kirsey Guduric, and I was like, did he say a Russian hockey player's name? Who is this? Like,
yeah, no, the fact that Eve knew exactly. Eve knew how to say it. You're under surveillance.
And I see it. I see it more than I hear it. So that's how you know it's bad.
Brother, when I see her, all I see is God. What Flair said.
And when I see you,
flat out call me God. God. They just flat out call me God.
But yeah, like, good.
No, I was about to say is, the Jared guy, he can get you 20 points. And like you were about to say about Paul George, people, shouts out the club.
He is who we thought he was, and we let him off the hook. Like, that's Paul George.
But is he wrong to say, this is my last game? I feel I'm going back to the East Coast.
Here's Paul George's whole thing, because in 2013 he was that guy, legit. It was like next one up, Paul George. He won against the Heat in that Eastern Conference Finals. Him and my guy Lance Stevenson as well, because Lance Stevenson hit that three.
Granger.
Lance Stevenson hit that three at the end of the third quarter in Game 6, and then went right up to D Wade and was doing the in that crazy cone, that crazy look in his eyes.
Forget about Danny Granger.
Like Danny Granger, I think Danny Granger was injured that playoffs, and then next year when he was back, he was already cooked product by that point. Because then they added Evan Turner, and Evan Turner with his Kermit the Frog voice was not going to be able to help that Indiana team.
No, but they still had George Hill, who was a hell of a point guard.
Yeah, no, that team was still good, but in sports, teams like that, their windows are short. Like that your Bulls, the D Rose MVP Bulls, their window was short. That Indiana's team window, that Indiana team's window was short. The only teams that had like long windows, ironically, were the Boston Celtics of the Tatum Brown era, and then it was the Toronto Raptors from that first Eastern Conference Finals loss to LeBron. But then they're like, "What? How do we not lose like this again?" They're like, "Why don't we get rid of DeMar DeRozan and get Kawhi Leonard?" And they're like, "Holy shit, we might have a chance." And then they won.
I still say he shouldn't have stayed. He still shouldn't stay.
He should have.
They could have at least maybe got one more title, but he shouldn't have stayed. But see what happens when you go back home? Shit don't never work out. Why you think I never go home?
First of all, that's a lie. Because you're always like, I gotta get back home. First of all, Steve, let me say this, because I gotta defend. I like Jaylen Brown a lot too. I root for the Celtics in the East. Jason Tatum. Here's the Jason Tatum thing. Everyone gets mad about the cosplay Kobe thing. Meanwhile, Kobe Bryant cosplayed who?
Jordan.
Exactly. So, strike right there. Second of all, they get mad because he doesn't put up 40 and win. If he would put up 40, they'd lose. If they wanted him to consistently score, he'd be like LaMelo on the Bobcats, like Kyle Kuzma on the Wizards. If they want this guy to put up numbers, he'd be on a losing team. What's he do? He grabs boards. He gets assists. He actually plays defense. He's a complete player. He doesn't show up and take over games on the offensive side because his team's dynamic is Joe Mazzo's like, no one dribbles the ball. You pass that pitch and you shoot it behind this line. Even if you cut to the rim, you throw the ball back. Okay? I don't know how many games in the Celtics were like they're driving the rim and they're like, kick out, drive to the rim, kick out. And it's like, oh my, I've seen this so many times that they beat teams into the ground and that's why they won. And that's Jason Tatum's thing of like, he can't be who y'all want him to be because his team would lose. The year he averaged 30, they lost, or close to 30, I should say. Because I looked that up too, where it's like the year they made the finals the first time, he had the same numbers as he did this year. And he was saying, like, I don't get MVP votes because I'm on a stacked team. And he's right, because he plays his role in the stacked team, which is I'm the number one option, but I know it doesn't live or die by me. I can trust my teammates. LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony and Dwayne Wade, all those guys of that past era who got numbers and won, they didn't win the title every year. How many times did LeBron James win the title in that Cleveland first stint in Cleveland? None. LeBron James in Denver? None. Dwayne Wade won one title with Shaq, and then boom, done after that. You can't do all the work on offense. We saw that with Ant Edwards this year. You can't do all the work on offense and defense and still win the game because the rest of your team has to pan out. And that was the whole point of the finals. It's like Luka's like, I'm going to score 40 and try my best. But when those guys don't make shots like they did the previous 3 rounds, you can't win.
Right,
and that's what happened.
Tired. And then you just see them at the Olympics, right?
Which is stupid as fuck for him to play in the Olympics.
It's not, but it just shows he's out of fucking shape. He's tired already, but he's also out of shape. Look at all the teams from the NBA since the Dream Team. All these guys that played, this is when, I hate to sound like an old head, this is when men play basketball, but look at them like Jordan, they're playing 81, 82 games and still going to the Olympics. And, I mean, they blowing teams out like they never played. They haven't played all year, like they refreshed. Be it that the talent was less overseas at that point compared to now. But still, they were ready to go. And this is before they had all modern day equipment and science to get you right. So with Luca, I've said this for years. He's out of shape in this show right now. For your age, yeah, you just got locked up a lot during the playoffs. But look at the NBA players that are about to be in the Olympics. Hell, Jalen Brown Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum just came from winning the championship.
Well, Jalen Brown's not on this team, but he, at this point, if Kawhi Leonard was, again, Kawhi Leonard is the number one guy who should, well, him and Joel Embiid are the number one guys who should not be playing on the Olympic team.
But that shows you that they actually will be able to play because they're in somewhat shape. They might not be healthy.
They're using it to get it. They're using it to get in shape, and I think that's why I said it's done for Luka to do it, because instead of doing actual off-season workouts like lose weight and I don't know, change up things a little bit, he's doing the cycle of like
and drinking beer.
That's what I mean. Like, he's playing in the Olympics, so he's staying in the same cycle of I don't have to spend time in the weight room. I don't have to spend time on the running machine because I'm going to do my day-to-day routine like I was doing in the playoffs to stay in shape from game to game. That's why it's done for these guys who are injury prone or who need an actual off season to recover, because there's nothing wrong with taking the off season to recover. Ben Simmons does it 24/7, 365. And but yeah, but that's the thing. It's
I
like,
forgot all about that clown. No, everybody else has too. You ain't heard.
you know who didn't forget about him? The Nets
Yeah.
payroll department.
Yeah,
They didn't forget about him.
As soon as we
Another
pay this
check?
bro. As soon as he get paid, this is it. Y'all never see him again.
But yeah, I think it's dumb for him to play in the Olympics because it's like, first of all, you're in Slovenia. The national team there is decent. Again, they made the semis in the last Olympics. But you don't need to do this. Like, you need to rest your body, because that whole, like, his knee was bloody every game. Like, that's not a good look. Like, so if I'm the Mavericks, I'm like, let's allow this guy to go play for his national team because we just made the finals, and we can well, they can't. I don't think they can make it again. This was their window. This was the Mavericks window. I don't think they'd be able to make it next year because everything broke right for them this year.
I think Klay, they'll go deep into the playoffs. This is exactly who I said they should have got all along, even at this. If Klay can be 85% of Klay from the past, I think that's good enough. He just got to be a spot-up shooter, play a little bit of defense. He don't have to do too much. But for this team, because they don't have Derrick Jones, they don't really have a bench like they once had. I think it's, like you said, this might be their window might be closed.
First of all, they had Klay Thompson already. It was Derrick Jones and PJ Washington. They played that role in the finals, and you know what they can do? Drive to the rim. Derrick Jones, what he can do? Catch lobs. Is Klay Thompson going up for a lob?
No, he just needs to stay out there and shoot, like I just said.
Yeah,
again,
but PJ Washington already does that.
No, but not. Come on, but not like this. Not like a Klay Thompson.
Yeah, he can, because he's not going to be injured every game. Like Klay Thompson being like, tonight's not the night.
But remember when Klay got 70 points just by no dribbles?
That was in the third grade. Like, come on. Like, again, you want to start talking about that was in the fucking 73 win game season. Like, come on, you can't say Klay Thompson got 70. Like
Kevin Durant. So the next season,
even like again, Kevin Durant and the Warriors. That was 2 teams ago. Like, what are you saying? Like, again, you just talked about people don't pay attention to history. That's Klay Thompson is cooked. It's over. It's he's Adam Cole. It's finito.
I said if he can be 85%,
he can't be 20%.
Damn, now you're going too far. Because
he can. Damn, what showed you he can this past year? What showed you he can?
No, I can't. I can't even say this past season. I can't even say 2 years ago when they won it. See, people crazy.
Yeah, because even that title year, he showed up halfway through the season, and people are like, this guy's gonna play his way into shape because we will need him by the playoffs. And they won in the playoffs because Jordan Poole, who they shipped because Draymond Green's toxic ass punched him.
Yeah.
And now they're stuck with Draymond Green, and they're fucked.
And he's cooked. Now, that's somebody I need to call.
He was cooked before. Like,
yeah. And it's bad now. It's like, ooh.
And even worse, he's a space cadet. Like, it's just like.
And then they replaced Klay with Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield is not, he's good, but he ain't that guy, pal.
Buddy Hield is like when guys show up in NXT from AEW, like, ooh, we got him. Like, it's Sean Spears. Settle the fuck down, okay?
Did you just
He's
call him
solid.
Max Caster?
No. If Max Caster showed up to NXT, I'd be like, you know what? Maybe they can tap into this guy's out of everyone.
No,
He's the one guy who they probably could. But when everyone's like, man, that Brian Pillman Jr., he's running the ropes good. I'm like, first of all, he's fucking terrible. Name a good Brian Pillman Jr. match in his entire career.
Name his dad a good match from his dad. Other than with the Hollywood Blondes and Stone Cold.
Or Jushin Thunder Liger. Yeah, you know.
That's what I'm saying. And it's two people that are like above and beyond legends that he worked with. Cool. Yeah, I can get over right now.
But it's the same thing, like NXT's like, we got Ethan Page. The whole point of Ethan Page was like WWE passed on him because he was doughy. Yeah, they're like, yeah, this guy could talk. Yeah, he's tall. But we don't like that he's doughy. That he got in shape. And now he's 40 years old. And it's like, okay. LA Knight's 40 years old. And he's been in great shape for 15 years. Like, come on.
Also with Ethan Page, let me do the Roderick Strong. Who gives a fuck?
that is no offense to Page, but that's like they got Ethan Page is like whose gimmick is like okay, like
right. Like, all right, bro, go off. But still, it's the point.
That's Klay Thompson on the Mavericks, and that's why when Zell was like, I don't shout to Zell, body more bottles. I don't have my cup with me right now, but Zell was like, I'm not fond of this Klay Thompson sign. I'm like, you shouldn't be because you have a fucking brain, and he watches the Mavericks, like he knows them, like
which is still weird.
Is he gonna root for the Washington Wizards?
No, but the Knicks is right there. That ain't but 3 hours.
Nah.
The Knicks and the Nets is 3 hours away.
You root for the Bulls, like
the 76ers is right there. No,
there's 4 teams there's 4 teams in our state.
Yeah, but why would I root for the Clippers and the Lakers?
The Clippers, I understand, but still,
the Lakers too. Why the fuck would I root for the Lakers?
Yeah.
Shaq, but Magic. I was born.
No, because Shaq pisses me off more and more. Again, the fact that he was with the Hawk to a girl, I'm like, you are a thirsty ass bitch, Shaq.
That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all gotta let that go. That's all it is, bro.
No, it's not even that. No, he's just again a whore for the spotlight.
What are you talking about? No, it's not. Yes,
that's besides. That's obvious. And again, when the man had to go from city to city fighting fucking. You are the father of my child claims. No, you can't debate. He's not freaky, but I'm saying like
the Home Depot thing made me say he a fan.
Yeah, and as Eve, I think Eve and RFU brought that up on like in back-to-back weeks almost. But no, I mean like he's getting like that DJ show he had, like his DJ gig, the show he had on TNT. He stole the Steve Nash show where he would try to fight or compete against athletes in their sports. Like he's a guy who wants attention. He's a whore for the spotlight.
So you're saying he's the Rock?
Yeah. Did you watch the documentary? Did you watch the behind the curtain?
Would I watch that? I got an hour of stuff I can watch Beverly Hills Cop too.
Well, I watched it while I was doing my workout this morning. They should nominate that for the Emmy for Best Outstanding Comedy Special because the first 20 minutes, I'm like, you can't be serious. Like with The Rock, be like.
Did you?
And he does me.
Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no, he's the LeBron James I knew back then. Because here's what The Rock did. He's like, we've been playing this Roman Reigns story 4 years. I'm like, yeah, you were. And then you were like, you know what? I don't want to do it. And then you're like, I do want it. And then you're like, I do want to do it when the old guy's out and I don't have to deal with his ass anymore. Because that's what it was at the end of the day.
First of all, Davis be right about shit, and people just put him to the side about shit. He said this 3 years ago about The Rock, and everybody called him a hater. But I listen, because the thing is, when you too famous, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Because when you too famous, you start to tend that the world revolves around you. All right. So he's been famous for years. All right, years, and I ain't even talking about wrestling famous. I'm talking about movie famous. That's way scarier than wrestling famous because what the fuck? Jermaine, you put a whole ass lick here.
Ignore it.
Stephen A. Smith. Take a look at this. Yeah, take a look at this. Like what? Anyhow, but he's not just pro wrestling famous. Pro wrestlers, you can still, you know what I mean, approach them. It's unfortunate that people approach them in the wrong way, but 9 times out of 10, except for that colored girl, as she called herself, you can approach pro wrestlers all the time. It's just people approach them with fucking Funko Pops to try to sell, and that's a whole conversation. But number two, he's fucking movie famous. It wasn't that long ago that he was the biggest draw in Hollywood. All right, we besides Marvel, we
It
people
was
got to
when Klay
remember this.
Thompson put up 70 points. That was the
That's
last
what
time.
Clay.
See, and
That's
again,
definitely what Clay Thompson. That was Jumanji 2. All right, you know how Jumanji 2 was?
no, it was the first
Shit,
Jumanji.
8 years ago.
That's like the Red One trailer dropped. Again, a lot, like I said, a lot of stuff's happened. The Red One trailer dropped, and I'm like, we documented the making of that movie from the, it was
Still ain't watched
announced.
that trailer.
Here's how you know it's just like a real, like, this guy and his fucking ego and his self-centeredness. Like you're saying, like when everything rolls around you, because there's the character Garcia, which is this giant fucking polar bear. His name's Garcia because his fucking stupid ass brother-in-law's last name is Garcia, and he wrote the fucking piece of shit. So it's like, again, it's all just wink, winks, and nudge, nudge. Isn't this fun? We're making movies. Ha ha! Like, get the fuck out of here. Because
Wait, so what is this about? This the Christmas movie?
yeah, it's where he's an elf. Code name. They use elf as a code name. It's like, again, let's Dark Knight fucking Santa, except with a lighter comedy tone, because they got Chris Evans in there. And Chris Evans, who, again, I'm a fan of and I respect, but Chris Evans, like, yeah, I don't think I can do Captain America anymore. I want to do some real acting, get back to the basics. You do the fucking Gray Man, you do Ghosted for Apple, and then you do Red One. You know what that is? Cha-ching, cha-ching. Like, that's not real acting, pal. I still like getting money. I just don't want to be in Atlanta where it's hot and I'm tired of living here.
Well, he liked the same thing in Atlanta that I like, being women. Let me specify that.
Well, he's a married man now, though. So.
He got married? Oh, yeah, they said, oh, girl, young, right?
Now, see, all right, what do we talk about when someone says young? All right, because now because I'm not saying this to
20 years her senior, right? I don't know.
I don't think it's that. I don't. No. I think it's probably like 8 or 9. Tobey Maguire was.
They try to make it seem like she was like 25.
No, I don't think it's that bad. Tobey Maguire was just seen with a woman who's 20 and he's 49.
Well, he definitely a freaky. He won.
But that's his pal. But again, who's his pal? So, like, again, as I said,
hey, we got to do that. I think
as I said on a podcast. And you laughed at me like these were the guys who called themselves the Pussy Posse. Well, they didn't call themselves. They adopted after someone called them the Pussy Posse. They then
you see how Leo look now too.
But that makes sense. He's been slowly aging for years.
Yeah, that shit sped up. He's Sonic now with the aging.
Not too bad. He's because again. And more so, it's that facial hair is what makes him look so older. But yeah, his face is getting fuller. But again, like, he's the guy who doesn't work out and he acts once a year. Like, what else is he gonna do? And he fights to save the environment somewhat.
And he probably drinking a lot and chasing them young girls. It don't matter what fucking race of woman at this age. Young girls, yeah, you going through it.
And then he smoked and then vaped. Like, again, those aren't healthy.
Oh, that's choices. Shit. That's the new crack, by the way. every 5 seconds, I see motherfuckers just on that vape, just puffing. I'm like, bro, that shit is crack.
But yeah, but the behind the curtain thing, it's full of Triple H's lies, which is hilarious. It's full of the Rock's lies. Triple H. When we create Triple H, his whole shtick of like, we're storytellers, we create. There was a funny moment though, where it was like, Royal Rumble, CM Punk gets injured, and I'm like, I bet you loved that, didn't you? Like, like, because they showed him and CM Punk when CM Punk's like, yeah, my triceps, and I'm like, and you know what's gonna happen when you come back? Another injury. So,
I've said versus Punk match need to be 5 minutes.
There isn't gonna be a match.
You think he's gonna get hurt before that?
What's shown in the last, again, like Klay, what's shown that this guy's gonna go back to what he used to be? He got injured in the comeback match against Moxley. Come on, like
well,
he
if I
wasn't.
had to, hey, if I had to, after seeing John Moxley in person, if I had to wrestle that fucker, I'd get hurt myself. I'd jump down the stairs. Jesus, dude, that
Look
dude
what I
is
can
not good.
do. Like, no, he is
That
good. It's
motherfucker is
just
not. No, bro. I
no,
seen it. You want me to call Eve right now?
no, he's good. Like
We
I said,
seen
he's
it,
just no, he's good. He's just worn out. He's I got sit
bro.
down.
Well, goddamn, take a Gatorade, something, dog. That if not, first of all, Naito, seeing him come down the ramp.
Well, that's second. I already told you you can't say John Moxley looks bad in the match when that guy who's like. And then when he does his roll, like
he came down the ramp. I said, "Look what they did to my boy."
he does. When he tries to do the Destino, like before, like the setup was like legit. He has to, but it's just like here, one, and it's like pushing a kid on the swing. Like, don't let go yet. Don't let go yet. Like,
bro, y'all not understanding. Y'all have to see wrestling in person to understand.
Naito's knees have been taped up
on screen. It took him so that there's no tape delay, of course, but him coming out.
That's why
he came out like looking at. First of all, he looked at the crowd like, "Damn, this it. I ain't bet."
Okay.
He took 10. Like, bro.
But first of all, in Japan, their crowds are dying too. So he's like, they
got 4 fucking workers.
Yeah. Well, you know why?
Because they all went to AEW.
Because Gato wears his fucking do-rag too close to his eyes to look at, like, Shota, he's there. Suji, he's there. Should we push these guys? No. Evil. Let's stick with him. Like
Tanahashi, like, bro, everybody.
Well, Tanahashi's like, no. Tanahashi against the Triple H, like, no, as Mil Mascaras once said, no yob. No yob. That's Tanahashi. Like, I can't remember. I can't remember.
No, yeah.
No, I'm trying to.
That's the title.
It's because shut up. Yeah. I think they said the only one. I swear it was Lap's Fade. Were like, when Mascaras came to the States, the only words he could speak in English were no yob, meaning no job.
Like, Houston right now?
Like, that's all he knew. And then maybe he knew more English than he let on. Like, all these guys knew, but his whole thing was like, no yob. No, when we have no yob. Like,
it's the same thing with Andre.
Well, that's just him. That's him being an asshole because they're like, well, would you want to? And it's the same thing.
Good English. You don't. He's a woman like that and don't speak English.
Well, to be fair, I think he wouldn't have to speak English to marry her. So,
all right. And elaborate.
No, I mean that in a sense of like he's a good-looking guy. I don't care if he speaks or doesn't speak the language. I'm gonna marry that guy. Like, he's a handsome guy. Like, would you marry a woman who didn't speak your language? Yeah.
Hell no. I'm trying to do that right now. You want to come to America? You want to go?
No.
Or actually, can I come to your country?
Exactly. I think no. See, I've thought about that at some points. Like, could I move? Like, I fall in love with, like the typical hot European chicks who speak broken English, but I move to their country where they barely speak broken English. I'm like, that'd be fucking tough. That'd be.
We
fucking
gotta go,
tough.
Brother. We gotta go, so it don't matter.
That'd be fucking tough.
It don't matter. We go. Hey, I'm telling y'all, I'm out next year. We gonna be.
Would you rather move to the country where the English is accented, like London or Canada, where it's like like because Avery? I'm asking because Avery here. Like, would you rather move to where it's like where they speak English with their twang to it, and like, what's this all about? Like, like.
You think I want to hear Josh all the time? That's basically Josh talking all the time. So. You like the wrestling and Kindle?
Josh does talk like a word a minute instead of a word a second word. It's.
I am not from Canada, bro. I gotta hear it. Wait a minute, hold on. Chelsea Green, Trish Stratus. Yeah, let's go to Canada.
Again, the Chelsea Green thing. See, to me, it's one of these. I told this to Kiki, like when I see Ruby Rose, I'm like, yeah, she's okay. I like at times I'm like I can see it, but most of the time I'm like, no, I'm. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, she's a good looking woman. I'm not saying she's ugly. It's not far from that, but it's like when people lose their minds, you can be like, I don't see it, but then at the right moment, you can be like, now I see it.
But you gotta understand, this is a man that jobs out to Jada Parker. Well, that's one. Yeah, I think any man wear eyes, man, woman.
Well, yeah, that's yeah, man. I want every outhouse, in-house, hen house, and dog house.
I definitely start talking about Tommy Lee Jones.
No, but that's the thing. Like, no, what you should watch it. Like I said, it's comedy, and then God, Cody Rhodes. I know
that's
Earl.
Why I don't want to watch it.
No, I agree. That's why I didn't want it. It was funny to me when it was like the week after me. You're like, this documentary is coming out. I'm like, oh, I might watch this. And then 2 months, dead quiet, and they're like, the documentary was delayed. And I'm like, well, why the fuck was it delayed? Because Mr. $7 had to go and be Obama with it, talking with his hands and me like, here's what happened. No, here's an actual moment from the doc. He's like, after the 72 hours of We Want Cody, he's like, I call Nick Khan and I call Ari Emanuel, and I'm going to tell them why this isn't working with me and Roman, because if the fans aren't going to like it, I don't want to do it. I'm like, so this man admits he hates to get booed, which explains every career decision in Hollywood, that this man's ego is too fragile. He can't handle being booed. So what's he say? He's like, so I tell Ari and I tell Nick, get ready to see The Rock 10.0. I'm like, 10? He's like, the final boss. And he's like, he's quiet. He's like, after he says the final boss, he's like, it's quiet. Nick goes, I love it. Ari goes, I love it. And I'm like, that's how you know. First of all, those guys are agents. That's how you know everything in Hollywood movies and TV is accurate, because how many times in movies like Entourage, TV shows like Entourage or movies about Hollywood, they're like, a shitty idea, and the person goes, I love it. I love it. You love it? I love it. That's why Nick Khan's a great agent. That's why Ari Emanuel is a great agent, because they're like, this guy's idea fucking sucks, but we're going with it.
You know that, right? That's how. Yeah. Like I was talking to Cal about that. That's how the '90s was when it came to movies and TV shows. It's like, it's a good idea. Like, dog, why the fuck did the dinosaurs get greenlit? How did that get greenlit? It's the '90s. Look at
the TV show.
Yeah, the TV show. We're back
with Earl Sinclair and
yeah. And I grew up watching that show, but in hindsight, I look back at it. I was like, this ain't no.
No, that's show, no. Bro. See, because you know, funny. I was almost gonna text you on my TV. It'll just show images, and it showed the two angry beavers, and I'm like, that's our show. We're the two angry beavers. Because remember that cartoon?
They greenlit that.
Because it was a great idea. One beaver is funny, one beaver is angry. Put them together, and what do you got? Cat adventures, like.
Bro, our real monsters got greenlit. Think about the stuff that's supposed to be for kids get greenlit, let alone the movies. And then when we get to New Line, and we've talked about that, why the fuck is Clerks getting greenlit, even though that was independent?
Well, that's why it's independent. Clerks would have never gotten greenlit by a studio. That's why independent cinema took off. Just as the same thing like Six Lives of Videotapes with Steven Soderbergh. Like, he made a movie like this is kind of real in a way, because Hollywood, again, I've said this for you, like, there's nothing's made for kids. The comedy in Minions isn't made for kids, it's for adults. Kids just laugh when they go papoy, like that's what it's for. But when you watch a minion wear a thong, it's like, that's not for kids. Come on, like we're being real. Like, no kid, again, like Inside Out 2 is killing at the box office. Kids aren't going to be able to understand anxiety that early, and when you're seeing it at 5 years old. But like, sees the banana. That's all they do, like banana. And kids are like, like, they do. They talk like, pull yourself together. like that's the thing. Like, again, they had grown teenage men to see the grown teenage men went to see the Minions movie 2 years ago because of the viral sensation. But it's like, again, and they probably enjoyed it because and groups of teenage boys wore tuxedos and went and saw the third Minions, I think it was, The Rise of Gru, when he's a kid.
Well, I thought it was called Despicable Me.
It's the spinoff. The Despicable Me 4 is out or about to be out. But it's the whole thing of like, but kids' content is not for kids' content.
But they got the Minions as well.
Yeah.
So it's Minions 1, 2, and 3, but then it's Despicable Me.
They spun it off on its own, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Why don't they just make it a TV show and make more money? If you do
because as we saw with Disney Plus, it's not going to make money. That's why they said Moana 2 isn't a TV show anymore. It's a movie. And again,
that's what they need to document, him talking about the live action movie, because that shit is hilarious. He just cut a promo about that yesterday. He said, "Yeah, we're about to start production on Moana 2. We're about to wrap. We just wrapped.
We just finished Moana. Again, his MMA movie, in which he got injured because he's been sticking the needle in too much, and his body can't handle that kind of movement.
Because he lost weight. I was like, how you lose weight?
No, he did not lose weight.
Hurt. No, he lost weight, but he well,
first of all, Mark Kerr is a big fucking guy too at that time in his life. He was a big fucking guy. That movie, because I watched.
Let me ask you this, because he did the shit in Gridiron Gang, as Manny and them pointed out.
Why is he gonna play a black man?
I mean, why is he playing a
no, in Gridiron Gang he's supposed to be black.
No, Gridiron Gang he's black, but he's playing a white man.
The guy in Gridiron Gang is not white. I mean, not black.
No, he blue hair, he blue eyed, fucking.
Well, I don't get mad when movies will do something like that, because again, as we debated before, like, this is why biopics are bullshit to me. Is that
no, you tripping? You ain't seen Get On Up with James Brown.
Does it document him? Does it do that?
Yes, he slapped the shit out of goddamn Jill Scott.
Well, first of all, it's also made by the white man who said he could get away with making black movies or this and all that because he's white and he understands and he's gay. So it's like,
well, let me take the Stephen A. Smith approach and cool him a little bit. He did a great job with that movie. My bosses did a great job
because he also made The Help before that.
I hate that fucking movie. Don't let me
see. See,
don't let me start promo.
Tate Taylor. Yeah, see, but no.
The only movie I kind of like that was The Butler.
You like Lee Daniels, so that's why.
No, he's a fucking thief.
What did Dame Dash Preston wants? Where's my money at?
Yeah,
Stewie O'Brien. Where's my fucking money, man? Where's my fucking money? Like,
well, Dame Dash live in Malibu. Yeah, that costs a lot.
But no, why is he playing a white man? I mean, that's the thing. Like, Mark Kerr, to me, I don't know his life story too much, but he's in that Vin Diesel zone of like, you're completely racially ambiguous. Or I'm like, fuck, if I say you're one, you might be the other.
Let me see. I have no idea how that jabroni looks. I still don't even know what the movie's about.
Oh, Mark Kerr, he was one of the like big pioneers in heavyweight MMA, especially in the UFC and then Pride Fighting Championship at that time. And then it took a turn for the worse because he got addicted to painkillers. And then he had a toxic relationship with his girlfriend who tried to kill herself, and basically was like kind of wearing down his career. The Rock thinks what? That's what I'm saying. The Rock thinks this is gonna be his Oscar movie. No, this is gonna be Emily Blunt's Oscar movie. Because she's playing the girlfriend, and they're gonna give her the Oscar for this role because they didn't give it to her in Oppenheimer. But granted, she didn't deserve an Oppenheimer because she was just a drunk housewife who didn't do anything. Like,
that's crazy. Yeah,
she was.
He's apparently Irish, and
there's always Irish in there. See,
I mean, y'all the fucking what they call y'all. I ain't gonna quote it, but yeah, he looked fucking kind of black. Anyhow, this jabroni got the same.
They gave him, but they gave The Rock all these prosthetics to look like him, and it's fucking hilarious.
Right? I was like.
It's an SNL sketch. It's gonna be gonna be horrible because they got the one Safdie brother to do it because he wants to be away from his brother. So it's like, God,
why not just not go. You don't have to put the prosthetics on, but I guess it's like that's the
No,
Rock, so
because
it's like we got to put the
that's the Oscar
prosthetics.
commitment. Like, look at how the only reason, what's my guy's name? Rami Malek won for Bohemian Rhapsody because he put in those giant ass fake teeth to be like Freddie Mercury.
And that's all he did in that. Look, I don't
Yeah.
like Bryan Singer, so I ain't gonna even bash that.
Well,
Movie.
that's a whole nother. Yeah.
That's a 2-hour conversation that I don't have time for about Bryan Singer. But y'all do.
That's a shitty movie made by a shitty person.
There we go.
Plain and simple.
And I'm a Queen diehard. I'm a super mark for Queen, but that movie was not good.
But the thing, like, we didn't talk about it because I don't know why we would. But they had the Amy Winehouse movie this year. Last year they had the Whitney Houston movie, and like it seemed like they put out these movies.
Wait,
the Bob Marley movie? Yeah, it came and went in May. It was like it was released.
I'm like, when did that come out?
Yeah, I know you talked about the Bob Marley movie with Josh and them. It's like that seemed like they get actors are doing these roles to, like we've always said, to get awards bait. And this is The Rock's attempt at that because he's trying to, again, another lie. I want to get back to that real acting, something I haven't done in a long time. Meanwhile, Red One comes out this fucking year. Like, what are you trying to tell me?
I'm trying to see where that Amy Winehouse movie is at. That shit on Tubi.
But the WrestleMania 40 doc, yeah, like he tells lies on that. Seth Rollins, he's putting on his knee brace, and you're gonna love this because Seth Rollins is like, I'm injured, and I'm like, when the fuck aren't you, Seth? Like,
well, that's because he's fat too. That's why he's injured.
Because he's injured again. Like, look at you're injured.
You can still go walk around the block.
But you don't take the right time. So again, Seth got fat because he like Luca thing, like I'm injured. I'm only going to do what I need to stay in shape on the day to day instead of like a real diet regimen workout. And that's why. And again, but Seth is like, I'm injured, but I'm still gonna be able to wrestle. I'm like, Seth, what you call wrestling while you're injured is an abomination.
Yeah, it's 1,000 chops and a fucking flying over the rope.
It's the slowest 3 suicide dives I've ever seen. Fucking old people's carts move faster than that. Like,
it's a suicide dive, it's a frog splash, and it's chops. He did the same thing last night with Drew. It was like, bro. I mean, not Drew, with Damian Priest. Shouts out to Damian Priest too. Yeah, unfortunately, he about to lose the title, but it's been a pretty good run. I gotta say, I wasn't sold, but it's been a good run. But he tried his best. He got that match over because it definitely wasn't Seth fat ass. It was fucking Damian getting that match over, and he had to pull out moves I ain't seen since ROH when he was fat.
Yeah, again, and then when people wonder why, like we had the Adam Cole discussion the other day, and it's and I'm saying like.
No, I'm just hurt every time I hear the name Adam Cole. I'm like,
yeah. The reason he looked so bad when he showed up in AEW is because I always say the Performance Center, as we've seen before, it doesn't turn out top prospects every single time.
Steve Corino was teaching there. That's what's up.
Well, Steve Corino, B-Dot's guy, Prince Albert.
He said Kevin Owens is just Prince Albert.
First of all, he's wrong. All right. The fact that I know he hates Kevin Owens. No. When did you turn on Kevin Owens, huh?
Since Ant been a fan of his. So for you.
Oh, see, just be.
You like Sami Zayn too? That's your guy?
Sami Zayn at this point is just, again, full preface this, everyone. I really haven't watched any wrestling in the last 2 months. So what I've seen going on is just
good.
Well, that's why I stopped watching because I'm like, Cody Rhodes is the champion. I'm tired of this. Swerve is the champion. I'm tired of this. And just the online discussion. Everyone who talks about wrestling or podcasts about wrestling.
He won a few good things over there.
Well, that's not saying much. Again, the fucking
him and Willow. Okay, let me be clear. It's him and Willow. Let's move
on. And everyone who talks about wrestling or podcasts about wrestling doesn't know shit about it anyway. So that's one reason I've stopped watching.
Let me be clear too about this. I hate to keep cutting you off, but we have a great discussion. Listen, I synced it in person, people. All right. It took me years to finally see AEW in person. I was supposed to go when I was back home, never went. I synced it in person. I synced it at the right time when they got the Japanese work. brother. It. I like AEW. I like all. I watch fucking GCW. I should tell y'all that I like wrestling, especially indie wrestling. And indie wrestling work, bruh. It ain't looking good. I can hear other people's conversations while I'm in the building. That's not good. I'm hearing people talking about what you want from the concession stand. Fucking
They're hot dog, hot dog.
I'm sorry, Keeks. I synced it in person. It ain't good. Yeah, Daniel Bryan over there, but damn, he ain't the old Daniel Bryan. Because that match, I said, him and LeBron, eye to eye, brother, with the dunk. They got that one Statue of Liberty dunk.
Oh, the one move. No, the bronze is the tomahawk. Remember, but it's not a tomahawk. It's just a little pickaxe. Like
it ain't there no more. Daniel Bryan, when he go over the rope, I'm like, well, I hope he good. It's over, bro. I seen John Moxley. Fuck. I said no. I never was a fan. I had to see it in person. Again, we joked about it earlier. Naito is my guy. He ain't even in AEW, but let me say, it's time for him to go home, bro. He sat in the chair, and I was like, damn, you could just sit there, Don't back up. You tired? That motherfucking eye don't even come up no more. Pause.
But he has a real. But he really needs the eye surgery. He said that himself. He's like, I need one more eye surgery.
You need fucking knee surgery too. You need
every wrestler
surgery,
does.
You need elbow surgery. Like, bro, the tan don't even look good no more. It's just like what Jamie Foxx said. He saw Michael Jackson in 2020 or 2001 when he's like,
I'm like 2020. Wait a second. What do you?
Mike's still alive. Fuck it. They said
no. That would explain Jamie Foxx's.
No, but remember 2001 when he had the Michael Jackson thing at MSG.
He saw him there and he was like,
I don't know what it's called, Jackson Fox. Yeah, that's when he. I might need security. That's when he had the great bit about it. He's like, then. He was like, the moves ain't crispy no more. The spin took 10 minutes. That was Daniel Bryan tonight, all right. I synced it. Mercedes Moné fucking ain't no money. It's overdraft.
That's your agenda. That's your. No, that's been your agenda. No, I'm saying, but like you're.
Because she don't work. What you want me to do, bro?
No,
Willow was on point. Willow was on point.
Mm-hmm.
All right, them women that was in the tag with Willow was on point. Because Willow worked every week. I keep saying you got to fucking work, bro. It's the same thing with everything in life. You don't go to your fucking job and you half-ass because you know why? Them white people gonna say you got to get.
No, they're crackers.
You out. Yeah, them crackers gonna. He said it, not me. Them crackers.
It's not a slur.
You fired. I know I got a worse slur for white people, but I ain't gonna say it. But it's a job. If you don't do your job, they gonna kick you the fuck out. All right. No, Long Island's the best place in New York. Don't do that. That's the
first. All right.
Too. Go ahead, get your shit off.
No, because here's the thing. 2020, the fall of 2020. This pod starts. It had a different name at the time. They called us Madmen. Why did it have that name? Because once a week we'd say something and we'd be like, watch, it's going to happen. The biggest long shot of this, it's not the AEW because that's like we're like 90% there. Batman 2 not happening. If that doesn't happen, you are going to see me like lose my mind. You saw that guy celebrate with the champagne and the Celtics jersey at home. I'm doing that if they're like the Batman 2 doesn't happen because I'm going to be like,
they brought back fucking. They said they brought back Marco Studd. I said it's fucking over. Marco Studd in 2024.
So here's the thing. Banks and I, the 4th episode, it was called Walking Contradiction. We were like, AEW as of right now doesn't look that good, and that scares us because if it doesn't look good right now, a year in, granted, half the first year of AEW was COVID. But that showed all their flaws. They didn't know how to book without a crowd. They didn't know what ideas to execute without a crowd because it was the whole wait. like WWE, wait on these ideas. Except WWE at some point was like, fuck it. We gotta lean into our good ideas because we have nothing to do. The TV ratings are, even though the TV ratings these days, they get overrated in both companies. Overrated, underrated. Who gives a fuck? TV today, the NBA finals were terrible. That didn't stop fucking Amazon and NBC from shelling out billions of dollars to the NBA because it's all about the advertising, regardless. And high ratings doesn't always equal quality product. NCIS does fucking numbers on CBS. Would you call that a good TV show compared to fucking The Bear or House of the Dragon, etc.? So we were like, AEW looking this flawed early on does not give us hope in terms of what it can potentially be. They kind of picked steam up when crowds showed back up. And then 2022, one wheel falls off and they're like, it's still drivable. Last year, another wheel falls off because it's both wheels were CM Punk related. Now they're driving and it's like, and now this third wheel's fallen off because they've leaned into the Bucks being like, everyone thinks we have our say. Like, you can't lean into we're the bad guys behind the scenes. We're going to be the bad guys on the scenes that we say we are, and this and all that, and get Tony Khan involved. It's all one time it worked. It was in the fucking 90s when people were finally told Vince McMahon was it worked one time when we were told Vince McMahon's the owner. After years of him being on the commentary desk, he's like, this guy owns the company. And then Steve Austin beat his ass for 2 years and it was the best thing ever. When WCW did that, it was fucking terrible. If we're being honest, like all the NWO stuff of like Eric Bischoff being in charge of the NWO with them is terrible because when we documented that Rise of Sting stuff, it's like, this shit is slow. It's vibes. Because who doesn't like seeing Steve Borden in the rafters or come down and beat dudes up with a bat? It was just vibes. It's not good TV. And the reason it was good TV at that time is it was a long, drawn-out story. Meanwhile, WWE was doing stuff that bit by bit they were chomping at. So when Eric Bischoff likes to say we had an 83-week win over WWE, AEW's never done that. I'm like, you had an 83-week win, and then you never won again. It's like, we won the title in 2009, and then you never made the playoffs for 4 straight years. AEW never beat WWE like Tony Khan likes to say he does when that Rampage beat SmackDown at the head for that. I'm like, so what? You're not competing against the big shows on a weekly basis. It was NXT versus AEW. And that's why WWE shouldn't have been mad when NXT was losing. Because first of all, NXT was never on TV until that year. We had to watch it on the network. And that's why everyone loved it, because we could watch it at our pace. You could watch it as it aired that Wednesday night. You could watch it the next fucking day. It wasn't do or die television. And if anything, with all the wrestling people were watching at that time, NXT was the best thing to save until you had the time to fully watch it and get into it. That's why I loved it, because it's like, oh, I got to watch Raw because it's 3 hours. I got to watch SmackDown in 2 hours. But at that point in 2017, going into 2018, I'm like, I'm watching NXT live and then fast forwarding through Raw and SmackDown after the next day to the stuff I want to see. AEW now, first of all, their ratings, they were never stupendous, okay? And who gives a fuck, again, about TV ratings? You don't understand the business that you're covering anyway, because as you would know it, they lose to real sports all the fucking time. So what do you care about wrestling having good ratings? Whether it's the WWE having great ratings, it still gets its ass kicked when they go up against football. And that's why they went to Netflix, so they never have to lose to Monday Night Football ever again. SmackDown going back to USA on Friday nights is because Fox is like, this is fucking embarrassing to us. Look what you've done to our Friday night wings. We can put fucking bullshit on here and do better ratings. And WWE's offended by that. So they go back to USA, who has their fucking handshake deal with them for, 20 years at this point? Even farther when you go into the 90s when Raw was first on USA. But Peacock has all the WWE content for now, because that can go right over to Netflix if it proves to be successful. But WWE got tired of losing to Monday Night Football. AEW always goes up against, again, this past month showed it. Worst of all, they went up against finals games, NBA draft, fucking. Now they're going up against WNBA games, which are on the rise because of Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, the Aces, etc. That's a sport that's on the rise. Well, the whole NBA is dying, the WNBA rising is a real take at this point. And that's something to watch for the next few years, because those rights are not going to be on the NBA label when they're up again, but they're going to be on a higher than they've ever been for the WNBA. Thank you, Stevie. I forgot the Kendrick Pop-Out show was on a Wednesday night. That kicked its ass because everyone, but and it's also like people who don't like AEW aren't going to watch it. Eve tweets when he watches AEW. He's like, I'm going to tap in AEW night because then he'll give his takes. But like, no, like, but people who watch AEW still might tune in to watch Raw more than the other way, is my point. More people will watch who are AEW fans will watch WWE product versus WWE fans who will watch AEW product, because people who love WWE hate AEW. And it's clear as day. You can see with all the people on all their fucking podcasts, all their Twitters. That's why every WWE pay-per-view is better than the previous one that just happened. They say it time after time, that's the best pay-per-view I've ever seen. A month later, that's the best pay-per-view I've ever seen. And AEW fans do the same shit. I'm not trying to take up all the time because I want to have you get
talk your shit.
But the crowds being low, that's what's scary. Okay? That's what's scary for AEW. Not TV ratings. Again, like I said, who gives a fuck? Warner Brothers, Warner Discovery had to give up the NBA. They're going to fuck AEW on this TV deal. Okay? If we're being honest. AEW is not going to get the TV deal they want in terms of money, but they're probably going to give it in terms of longevity and security, in terms of being on the air, because Tony Khan has the money to fund it himself. He's that fucking rich. He can fund the thing himself. It doesn't matter. But at some point, Warner Discovery is going to be like, if we start airing shows that have, like you're saying, half the crowd in attendance, we can put on an old movie and that can do better. Because more these days, TNT's not doing original content like it used to, because Warner Discovery is broke. They can barely afford the movies they're making. They had to give up the NBA.
They keep making these Godzilla movies because people are going to see them.
Because they make fucking money, no matter how shitty they are, and that's why they're trying to milk. We don't need a fucking Penguin TV show. It's dumb as fuck. I like Colin Farrell. It's a waste of his time. It's a waste of our time as people who begin. Well, I want to know what happens in between the Batman and the Batman 2. It's just going to be wink winks. Like, get it? The Batman's doing this while all this is happening for the Penguins. Like, no. And they're sinking money into that show. Like they're sinking money in the House on the Dragon. Another Game of Thrones spinoff is on the way, etc. It's like what Amazon was trying to do with The Boys, where we got one big mega hit. Let's do Gen V. And then let's do The Boys animated show. And what else can we do? Like, you're going to milk until it's dry. AEW at this point was always low on the Warner Discovery totem pole, because I listen to the podcast called The Town. It documents all the deal making in Hollywood and stuff. And when the guy who created the BR Live app, he never mentioned AEW as part of their sports package for BR Live. You know why? Because they don't consider it a sport, no matter how often Tony Khan says, we're a sport. You're not. You're pro wrestling. You might not be entertainment, but you're not a sport to them. And they didn't treat you like a sport. If they did, they would have been like, it's smart to have this on our BR Live app. That'll get all the AEW fans driven to our BR Live app, potentially. It's, again, when people don't use their common sense, that's what pisses me off. Because, like, again, that's what I'm saying. Like, people don't know how to cover the shit because they don't know how to understand it. It's just the greatest episode of Raw I've ever seen. Next week, greatest episode of Raw I've ever seen. What they're doing is amazing. This company, it gets better every day. Meanwhile, it doesn't. All right? Because stuff does take time. You should tune into Keeks and her friend Mo's Twitch, The Boys with the Girls, every Tuesday night. Follow All Elite Keeks to stay up to that if you're for boys coverage. This season of The Boys, I don't feel like talking about. I caught up on Gen V 2 weeks, so that was fucking amazing. I didn't see it last year when it aired. I want more of that instead of more of The Boys, but given how the actor passed away, I don't want a second season now. Because the way they were setting up season 2, I'm like, damn, this is gonna cook potentially. But now season 5 of The Boys is better off being season 2 of Gen V in the season finale, in the series finale of The Boys, and just combining them, which they kind of teased on the episode last week. But that's the thing. And AEW doesn't know how to sell tickets because losing CM Punk did hurt them. I know all the AEW diehards getting their feelings about CM Punk this, CM Punk that. He wasn't there for the right reasons. Etc. He's not in WWE for the right reasons. You know what his reasons are? That's his reasons for wrestling. Last night he joked about.
No, I'm sorry to cut you off. That's the main thing when it comes to pro wrestling. It's like we're supposed to make money. That's been the same thing since the Carney age. When you pay for a ticket to go to the carnival and they had pro wrestling there, where it started at, it's supposed to draw money. That's sometimes the main attraction at carnivals.
It's how much money did we make tonight? Did we make more or less than the night before? That's the most important part because that'll then dictate what do we do for the next show.
Thank you. He just said it. That's basic one-on-one when it comes to pro wrestling and entertainment in general, if you're blessed enough to make some money in it. It's the same thing with movies we talked about. If you're the it guy and you drawing money, we're going to keep on booking you. If not, you're going to be another guy that was just on Battleship and that did that fucking Disney movie. That's going to be
John Carter. Yeah,
you're going to be a draw, but we can't keep putting you in feature films because you ain't making us no money. We spending more money on you.
But that was the thing that's forcing someone to be a draw when they aren't. And you know, it's funny because we won't be able to talk about Beverly Hills Cop 4. I haven't seen it yet. I just watched the first.
I'll probably watch it tonight.
Excuse me. I was watching the first 3. I had seen the first 2. I never saw the third all the way through. And that's the thing. Like the first Beverly Hills Cop, again, it wasn't made for Eddie Murphy. It was made for Sly Stallone. Stallone's like, nah, I don't want to do this. That turns Eddie Murphy into a bigger movie star because he was already on that cusp with 48 Hours and SNL, but it fully catapulted because the whole movie then revolved around him. They're like, this made so much money. We have to do a second. In that time of the 80s where sequels were still rare compared to today when there's a sequel every year, every month practically. But Beverly Hills Cop 2, it's almost the same fucking movie with I'd say Tony Scott's a way better director. That's not saying that Martin Brest is a bad director, but it's the same movie with the same bits, just a better director. That does well still. It takes time for them to do the third, but as we're finding out, like as the story goes, like Jerry Bruckheimer didn't produce the third. John Ashton didn't return for the third. Eddie Murphy did it really for the money. And I watched it last night, having seen it for the first time all the way through. I'm like, it's not that bad, if I'm being honest. It's just so weird of a movie. We'll talk about that on the fourth one next week, and I'll talk about it then. But the reason they kept making them is because they made money, and the guy was a star. And what stopped after the third is it didn't do as well as the first 2, so they stopped. And then why they brought it back from the dead after all these years is because Jerry Bruckheimer saw 2 successful franchises get reinvigorated in the span of 2 years. I haven't seen Bad Boys 4 either. That he saw Bad Boys get reinvigorated with Bad Boys for Life. What? I've been busy. I've been working out.
No, you said you was gonna see it though.
I was, but I got caught up with things. But the Bad Boys.
It's so great. You can watch it whenever.
Bad Boys for Life did numbers. That's why they greenlit the 4th one. No matter what Will Smith did, they were still going to make it. And then Top Gun Maverick was the biggest movie of 2022. So Eddie Murphy and Jerry Bruckheimer are like, now's the time to do it. Because as we've been talking about, nostalgia wins. AEW has nostalgia. WWE has nostalgia. Everything CM Punk's doing, it's fucking nostalgia. Everything WWE's doing is fucking nostalgia. It's Edge showed up for what reason other than his own ego in AEW? And fans are like, it's so great having Edge in AEW. You mean the guy you were just shitting on in WWE for not being able to hang with AJ Styles? It's the same guy. Nothing changed. Like I said earlier, like WWE fans are so happy to have Ethan Page and Sean Spears in NXT. I'm like, Sean Spears was the same guy when he was Ty Dillinger. Nothing's changed in his career. He put on 10 pounds of muscle. That's it. Nothing's changed in his career. So what happens is you fight for the lies now more than ever. This is great. That's bad. This is better than the other. This is worse than the other. So what's worse in AEW is the stuff that people will champion more What's great in WWE is the stuff that people will champion more. The Wyatt Six, I told you it was the stupidest fucking thing to do. Because all you're gonna do is play on a person who's passed. That's all it's gonna be. It's gonna be a constant reminder of this guy's not here anymore. Let's give this a shot. Let's keep rooting for this because this guy passed away. You mean the guy who got fired twice because his ideas were not what the company wanted? Everyone forget that Bray Wyatt documentary was so great. I didn't waste my time with that bullshit because, again, people want a sob story. People want something to root for. But do we not forget how bad that fucking match of LA Knight was when it was Mountain Dew sponsored? That shit show.
No, I'm letting you go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
I'm saying, but what people want, but that's what the people want. They want something, and that's something like they got Nikki. So how are they going to explain Nikki Cross was Sister Abigail the whole time? How are they going to explain Dexter Loomis was the character the whole time?
Wait, what? Who? He was?
Yeah, they're turning characters. I mean, they're turning wrestlers that.
Why is he still getting booked?
Why is Bo Dallas getting booked? Bo Dallas.
He's actually worked a match in the past 5 years. When the last time you ever seen this?
Has he worked a good match?
It don't matter.
Has he cut good promos to prove he's the leader? Again, he's not going to be the leader of this group because it's all going to be in memory of a guy who's not here anymore. That's why everyone's
who else in this Y6? Please tell me.
It's Eric Rowan.
Loomis that's not a problem. That's not a problem. I like Eric Rowan.
Again, all they do with Eric Rowan is play on the fact that Luke Harper's not here anymore. Brody Lee's not here anymore. That's all they do with him.
So they doing just like the record business. When somebody died, they just make money off their back.
That's what this is. This is what was Diddy's album after
I was gonna say Gucci Man label.
But that's what it is. Like CM Punk is nostalgia at this point. Everyone got so fucking hyped when he showed up in Chicago. I'm like, what has this? No, again, like Klay, what has this guy done in 2 years to show you he can still carry on? It's all nostalgia. It's what he did a decade ago. Years? But again, it's what he's done in the past. John Cena is retiring. We started this show because of John Cena, funny enough. John Cena should have retired 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And John Cena's retiring now because the company's in the space where they can clear out for John Cena to have his last run, his farewell tour. There's no Vince to put him on the top like he wanted. And John Cena's in this weird spot in Hollywood now where the Peacemaker was put on delay because of the Superman movie. He's filmed so many movies in between then that they're going to be released over the next coming years. The Fast franchise used him and abused him like none other.
The what franchise?
The Fast franchise.
That's dead. I think we should call it, over for that as well, bro.
We did when we talked about Fast 10 on that last episode.
Yeah, but we need to remind.
It was so bad. That episode was so bad and so dour as we watched it. We had to invite Big Tim after to give y'all 40 minutes of good content. That sucks. Y'all couldn't get to hear it because that was a real conversation.
Also, too, yeah, it's over, bro. Ain't no Fast 11 people. We can call that a career. They ain't saying nothing about that.
Well, he said they're just starting production right now on Vin Diesel's Instagram. You want to talk about comedy?
Ain't he doing Kojo? I'm about to say Kojo.
Kojak.
Kojak.
Yeah, that's supposed to be again his. I got to get back to that real acting.
And I was a poor guy in New York, a poor kid in New York. Now I'm doing this. All right, bro. $7 production paragraph.
But it's the same thing where WWE knows what they have in the next generation to an extent. I've said for years now at this point, Triple H wants to book his guys, his girls. He doesn't want to have to book for Roman Reigns. He doesn't want to have to book for John Cena. He doesn't want to book for the internet. He doesn't want to have to deal with people who have the egos. That's why this whole documentary is funny. You have to watch this guy talk to The Rock about The Rock being like, my entrance should be this. This should be that. Meanwhile, these are guys who we know have never liked each other. For 25 years, these guys, when they were at the top, I'm saying 2000, like these guys have never liked each other. And that's why The Rock never did business with him in that Ronda Rousey match that was supposed to happen almost a decade ago. So the fact that...
But you know what this is, right? The old man ain't there, so everybody's like...
That's been my point. I'm like, that's why CM Punk went back. Not because the falling out with Tony Khan and all that bullshit, et cetera. Like, because Vince is gone. Vince is gone. I can go back. And the whole him and Triple H.
Dad. That's all it is. They scared of Dad. Dad went away, so now we get to do whatever we want.
And no matter how much beef him and Triple H have, Triple H loves to please the internet as much as Tony Khan does. Of course he's going to fucking sign CM Punk. Is he an idiot? No. CM Punk reads Triple H reads the fucking dirt sheets. He's on mark like Tony Khan is. Triple H took matches from the indies and said, let's give it a WWE label and fans will eat it up. Just like Tony Khan's doing with fans want this match on the internet of these two guys who've never had a match. I'm going to give them that. Those are what those two companies are based on now. Tony Khan is, people want this guy, or this girl and this girl who've never faced each other to have a match. I'm going to make it happen. Versus Triple H being like, this happened in the past. It's going to happen now. Again, how many times does TNA have to show a fucking clip of, did you like Drew McIntyre versus LA Knight tonight? It happened in 2016. And we're like, we know because we weren't watching. Like,
and I respect it. People caught on to that joke a couple of years ago. They was like, oh,
a couple years ago, we caught on to it the minute it happened. I'm like, oh, they know what they're doing. Because again, TNA always had, as you and I always talk about, TNA always had the blueprints. My uncle one time said this about G.I. Joes, that Cobra always had the coolest looking guys. They just had poor leadership. That was TNA. They had all the cool wrestlers, but the poorest leadership. And you can see that today with AEW. They have all the cool talent, but they have the poorest leadership. And WWE, to an extent, is like this, as you say, the man with three H's doesn't know how to book because he doesn't have a playbook. His playbook is, it's like,
surprise. I brought back this old worker.
No, it's like the assistant coach taking the head coach's playbook. Like, it's the same exact plays. I just don't know what makes them special. I just use them. You know what I mean? But his playbook's the internet because he doesn't know how to book like Vince McMahon. Because Vince McMahon, as we saw, books like a fucking senile old man for the last 10 years.
And I miss every minute of it.
Again, people had to remind us that like Madcap Moss was in a Money in the Bank ladder match. Do you remember Madcap Moss? But at the time, it's so great seeing Madcap Moss. This guy's next man. He's the great one coming up. Paul Heyman even said it. Paul fucking Heyman said, "Oh my god, wow!" You know how you know who Jay Billis said was going to be a great fucking prospect? This guy. You know what he turned out to be? Nothing. Like, how many times did Todd McShay say, this guy is the number one quarterback coming out? Here's how you should go. And you know who he turned into? Sam fucking Bradford.
That's crazy.
Right?
That's crazy.
Not saying Tom McShay doesn't know his shit.
No, you're right, but that's hilarious.
That's how it goes. And I get so angry. That's why I don't tweet, because I'm like, you people don't know how to have fucking conversations. And you just think it's someone like me yelling at you. I'm like, no, you just don't understand it. You don't have the fundamentals for that, big man. Like the facilities. You have the facilities for that, big man, as like an answer would always play.
Yeah, I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
I loved when they would always play that after like Cody would say something. I'm like, leave him alone.
There's a couple jokes I missed from Black.
Cody's my guy.
Of course, Antonio would show up as soon as you mentioned Sam Bradford.
Rams legend. They were in St. Louis. You weren't watching Danny Amendola on the Rams.
Thank you. Of course you would show up when we talk about
Steven Jackson on the Rams. You weren't watching that team. Come on.
At all, bro. Stop it.
But that's what pisses me off. And I gotta be the angry guy. Like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, because
here's sound like Bret Hart.
That's what's so. I always say this: the people who I hate, I can see why I hate them. But the thing about Bret Hart still is Bret Hart still has to again feel bad for me. I'm Bret Hart. Oh, like grow
No,
up.
it's not like that now.
It
Now it's just like
is.
no. Now it's just hate.
It was
Now it's
hate
more
the
so
second it happened.
But when we did WCW, I think the reason why it went out because of Bill Goldberg. And,
Yeah, the reason it went out is
but I
because
do love that. My fault to cut you off.
No.
Me and you talked about the death of WCW shit. I saw the first one, Never Again. But the best thing that happened is everything afterwards. As far as Booker T just letting the heat fly on Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff. He almost like I watch reality wrestling, right, which is his show. Bruh, when I tell you he literally sounded like he wanted to go through the screen and choke Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan, I could see that clip. He wasn't like yelling, but
Yeah.
you could just how some people just they show you they angry without yelling. You like, oh shit, I hope this person ain't nearby. He was talking about that. Like, why would you do that? Like, he sounded upset and mad at the same time. And that's somebody you don't want to fuck with when they mad and angry at the same time. You trying to stop me from getting money? He almost cussed and everything. I said, God damn. But he
And
didn't
that's
know
what.
about the Eric Bischoff burying him thing.
Yeah. And that's when people get on the internet to praise Eric Bischoff or be like, Eric Bischoff, he got him. When it comes to him and Tony Khan, I'm like, Eric Bischoff killed 2 companies.
Mm-hmm.
Not 1, 2. How many successful business ventures has he had outside of wrestling? Not a goddamn one. That's why he had to go back to wrestling in 2010 because all his business ventures failed. You know why? Because he's a fucking idiot. He was a hustler in Detroit. And then Vern Gagne gave him his fucking job in AWA. And then when you're in the wrestling business, you'll get a job for life somewhere, no matter what, because you've paid dues. And people on the outside, when they show up, again, like all the writers from TV shows, like they always say, they show up to WWE and they're like, this is the worst fucking writing environment of all time. Your ideas don't matter. They fuck like, no, how many times have we seen that? Where people are like, I hated working there. Yeah. And then the people who stay there for years and years develop their own bias. Like the one guy who's like, that's why you can't take people seriously because people will still be like, Eric Bischoff, he's a genius. I'm like, really? A genius? Come on.
Yeah, he do be talking wild shit about Tony Khan like he wasn't booking back then.
Yeah. And he says it wasn't me.
Blonde Jabroni Hogan.
Yeah. But it's because Eric Bischoff gets to say it wasn't on me. Or because the network didn't believe in us. And all that, or like the whole like Harvey Schiller did this, or the guy who just fucking died, Jamie Kellner. No, like that's what's crazy. Like when the death of all this like AEW, the engineer stuff and the WCW Vice thing airing, and the guy who canceled WCW, Jamie Kellner, he passed away in the same span of all this happening. That's why I'm like, pay attention to history. I don't need to go on a Julius Caesar rant like I did a few weeks ago for the Drake thing, but I'm like, pay attention to history, folks. Like it legit repeats itself, not on some Tenet shit, but like it happens. What's happened before
is new under the sun.
That's why it's like that's why I'm like, people can't cover this stuff objectively because at the end of the day, they want their views, they want their access, they want their tickets. That's it. You can't cover wrestling objectively. People like, and that's why it doesn't get respected like real sports, or like people like, look at the way the NFL media treats each other. I'm like, they don't treat each other like the fucking wrestling community. You know why? Because they get real fucking money compared to y'all, and they cover something that's real. And again, the NFL as a business will make more in one season than WWE makes in a lifetime. A lifetime. And we're getting upset because CM Punk said this. And even stuff CM Punk says has truth to it. But a lot of times it's like, you're also the same guy who said he would never go back to WWE. So I can't believe everything you say because he was waiting for his right moment to go back.
And according to some people, he's just a habitual liar all the time.
He is. Everyone, it's the wrestling business. They all are. Come on. And the people who are, and the people in this space, all their podcasts, all their accounts, they're all liars. Again, like saying like the only thing I'll ever give MJF credit for, because it's not wrestling, it's not his promos, but when he said in his pipe bomb, when y'all cheering for me now, but last year you tweeted that I sucked, and then you go and tweet new things to contradict your old tweets. That was the smartest thing he ever said because he was right. How and like I just said, like how many times do we see it's so great to have Edge in WWE? This is amazing run for him when he was having boring matches with Roman Reigns, boring matches with AJ Styles, boring feud with the Judgment Day, and then he goes to AEW and it's like, look at it, they got old ass Edge over there. Who wants him? But the whole time in WWE, it was great. It was great that Edge was coming back. He gave us the Brood. Who gives a fuck about the Brood in 2021? Gangrel, that's supposed to make me excited? But again, nostalgia, right? The Brood. What's the Brood? Nostalgia. They could bring out Naked Midian and people be like, oh my God, they fucking did it. Like, wow.
I'll shut my TV off because I used to hate it then as a jit. I hate it now.
It's all fraudulent. That's why I can't take anyone who does it seriously anymore, because it's like, what's your agenda? You're so pro AEW, WWE can do nothing good. You're so pro WWE, AEW can't do nothing good. AEW's problem is figuring out how to deliver a product that people want to see. And I mean actually want to see, not what its fans already want to see. WWE doesn't care about anything that the fans want. They are a full-fledged business. That's all it is. It's just about deals. The match quality, the fucking quality of their workers, it doesn't fucking matter. All it is about TV deal, ring apron deal, fucking match presenting deal. Who can we license this to? That's all WWE is about at this point. The wrestling is beneath them in terms of like what's important. All AEW has is wrestling because that's its foundation. That's why people are mad when it's like it's not. Look at it, how poorly it does as a business. Because it doesn't put it doesn't sell out well because it's not made for selling out venues like that at this point. They have to do smaller venues. They might have to do what TNA did or do what they did in the pandemic, which is have that Daily's Place residency, have that Orlando studio residency, and then utilize your markets. Because that's all they've done. Why do they keep going back to Chicago? Because they knew that was the only place they can make money. And then they get killed when they go elsewhere. They can go to Texas and make money. They can go to Florida and make money, but they can't go to fucking wherever in Mississippi, wherever in fucking Arizona and make money like that because they're not, even though they're on TNT, they're not big time. Again, because it's still relatively a small company being year 5. It's never going to be a financial juggernaut because on day 1, it was not a financial juggernaut. And that's the thing that at the end of the day that people won't realize, fans and haters, is that it's never going to be that. It's better than TNA ever was in terms of its TV deal, live events. Again, TNA could only do pay-per-views outside of Florida 3 times a year, if that. And even when it did in those dying years, it was abysmal. But overall, the AEW is the biggest success story outside WWE when it comes to the wrestling company. So to shit on it for not having sold out every venue, WWE doesn't sell out every venue because they made a point when The Rock came back to be like, this SmackDown sold out, this Raw sold out. And it was all because The Rock's there. Now, were the rest of the episodes before or after that sold out? Maybe, but they made a point because Dwayne Johnson's there. We got to say it's sold out because we got to show this guy's a draw. We got to put that front and center for Wall Street. Meanwhile, they don't advertise that SmackDown sold out that just happened or the one before that. Why not? Because it's not important because it's just the regular people that work there, not this big superstar who's showing up. Pay attention, folks. People think, oh, you're just too jaded and conceited or, you like to be spiteful. Like, I pointed out the hypocrisy of the racism for match sponsorships, and it's okay. They can keep getting away with that. So,
I mean, it's true. It's this thing called endorphins, man. And dopamine. People just get their little dopamine high, and their endorphins up, and then they just like, all right, I'm just in love with this and nothing else. And you got to understand it's a business aspect, like you just said, with the racial connotation that they have. And then they always say WWE. So, look, this is what I've been saying for years. None of these companies are pro-black. especially not WWE. You mean the same company where Triple H was mocking Mark Henry, acting like an ape? The same people being Triple H that was
Shawn
claiming Nation of
Michaels.
Domination. Shawn Michaels.
There are
Yep.
numerous stories of Shawn Michaels again from Bret Hart where
So you
he
got a
says
point.
some racist shit.
Yep.
But he's there with Sexy Red.
Well, cause she be cooning.
Well, but you know what I mean. It's okay, and because Wesley's his guy, Carmelo Hayes is his guy.
Are they
Except
really?
no, he does the Bill Clinton. Come here, baby. Like
Yeah. That's all it is. And then he got a type of people that he push.
yeah, people like
How do I
him.
say this? Well, I was gonna say fair skin. So he
No,
understands
he
marketing.
oh, for the women. You mean for the women? Yeah.
Both.
Well,
You
no, I
said
mean, but
Wesley
like,
and Carmelo.
but no, but like he'll push Nathan Frazier. He'll push Axiom. He'll push people built like him, undersized, small, fast guys. That's why I told you the whole time, like this Trick Williams thing, he was always trying to, or Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker was always trying to say, like, these guys need some more time down here because he's like, they're gonna see these big muscle guys and fall in love, just like Vince did when he saw Kevin and Scott. Meanwhile, I gotta sell 20 minutes, etc. But keep going. I like your point. Keep going.
No, that's all it is. So they say this company is pro-black, but yet Street Profits barely on TV, and I'm not the biggest Profits fan other
Don't
than
get me
Angelo
started on
Dawkins.
that.
Well, I like Angelo Dawkins. I be seeing him working. He
Mhm.
always training with Natty. Y'all want me to elaborate on that? I've never been fucking we here. I've said it for years ago, but again, I don't care about people listening to me. I don't care if people see me. Don't give a fuck. I don't care about any of that shit that people should care about. All I care about is winning. Number two, I have eyes. I got two eyes, two ears, and developed frontal lobe, as Eve said. I said it years ago about Montez Ford. Everybody was like, he should be a singles worker. Why? Because y'all just find him popular. Y'all just find him to be cool. It's like, dude, what does he do to tell a story in the ring? They put him in the ring with Roman Reigns, the guy, the best wrestler in the planet today, on the planet today. They put him in the ring with him, and it was just a bunch of flips, a bunch of flips. That was it. All right.
I hate when you do a bunch of flips because we again it
Was it
contradicts
not
your
a
point.
bunch of flips?
No, I'm not. I'm saying that we again. What did you love
He
about
athletic,
TNA?
cool.
What did you love
Yeah,
about
but at
TNA?
least they could. Yeah, they had high spots. At least they'll tell a story like an AJ Styles, Chris Sabin. Do
But
I
a
need to
lot of their
keep
matches
going?
were still high spots or high spots.
Alex Shelley, all them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not
Sanjay
saying they
Dutt, but
couldn't
they were
wrestle.
still wrestling.
Yeah,
But that's what
but
I'm
no.
saying. They were still
Real
able
quick,
to wrestle.
watch that doc because you can see Roman Reigns. He does not care about anything. This man is so
Do you care
nonchalant.
about your job?
Fuck, yeah, I have to. Like, if I'm
But to
being
the
honest, I
degree
have
of
to.
him, it's the same thing with me and you. Like, bro, I just want to get here
No,
and
if
get the
I'm saying
fuck out.
from the standpoint, like, watch how worked up The Rock and Cody get, and then watch Roman Reigns legit just be like, "Yeah, man, it's crazy what we can do in this business. It's just happening." Meanwhile, Cody's like, "All these fans." I'm sorry. He does that at one point. He legit does the. I'm sorry. They just
That boy,
they and again, The Rock has to do the. Yeah. Like, the Rock does a little bit of the schmoozing, like with the camera guy and all that. But
okay,
watching
I'll watch the documentary because it sounds like a tour de France of acting.
that's what I'm saying. It needs to be nominated for best outstanding comedy special. Like it's insane.
And people think they probably shot it like that on purpose because y'all dick ride WWE so much. No, it's
No,
just
you can no. I say like
it's
when
pro
Roman
wrestling.
Reigns, when Cody Rhodes is always going to do that. Shit it.
Crying.
Can I shit it? Can I shit a tear, please?
Yeah, he
That's
crying
why
over
when
their
The
own
Rock
girl.
said you start fucking crying. That was the best thing he ever said. Are you fucking kidding me?
You hear me?
You start fucking crying. And then again, you get to see all the stories about The Rock of him being too controlling, all that. And then you get to see Triple H again being like, again, Bruce Pritchard has to be like, Triple H is so great at his job. Number one Vince McMahon ass kisser, Bruce Pritchard be like, you're so great at your job, ain't you?
Well, he's the agent.
And
Triple.
then yeah, but Roman Reigns in the car, Roman Reigns on the treadmill, Roman Reigns doing his walkthrough for me. It's just like a guy who's like, man, I just show up. Okay,
Really?
like, and Paul Heyman always does his shit where he's in character like the people wanted Cody versus Roman, but The Rock, we have to have that. Like I love Paul Heyman, but we buy what he sells time after time. That's why Paul Heyman's great because we buy it.
That's why I love Roman, dog. It's like, hey man, this shit is a job. It ain't that serious. I'm gonna do what I need to do and just leave. I
Yeah,
respect that 1,000%.
yeah, but
All this other extra shit y'all trying to do, I don't care, bro. I'm still getting paid at the end of the day, right? I ain't selling furniture no more, right? Cool.
well, how's a pound cake start off? With that, oh, that other bullshit today. It won't last tomorrow.
That's crazy. I just listened to that the other day.
Is there anything else?
They can never make me hate you, Drake.
All right, let's end on that because again, I didn't watch the pop out. I don't want to watch a public execution, so I didn't watch the pop out. I did watch the. I didn't. No, I did watch the video. I didn't want to, but I did. I had to. First of all, it's actually a great directed video. The fact that like, I just mean from like, there's no camera movement. It's just a lot of like depth of field shots with good cuts, and then there's some camera movement later on when it kind of pans up or moves up. But it's just supremely directed by Dave Free of all people and Kendrick Lamar. Like this video was the ultimate like. At this point, I really don't know what to say anymore. I mean, you sent me the photos of Drake at the white party, looking old and withered and depressed.
Damn,
like I know that look. I look
Chuck,
like that.
you look sick.
Yeah. I mean, Tom Brady can't. No one can beat Tom Brady at that Buccaneers press conference. That's the when I said that to you, I said that's the ultimate. Damn, Chuck, look at you. You look sick.
A couple months ago, we talked about it before. The whole conspiracy theory, man, the tinfoil hat thing. He looked old as shit months ago. Now he looked young when he went to.
Well, we know why.
The babies, bro.
Whatever.
Me and Antonio said it.
Go ahead.
No, Coco Jones was at that party. I don't give a damn.
A lot of people were at that party. Tony Khan was at that party again.
No, he definitely in the rooms. No, but
he's like
and Coco
Tony
was at
Khan.
the party.
I think Tony Khan is like Paul Giamatti's character in Billions. That's what I think Tony Khan is like. I think he likes the shit done to him. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I want to elaborate on what he's talking about because I watched Billions.
He gets pissed on in the first episode.
Yeah, y'all do y'all research.
After a cigarette's burned on him.
Okay, so I wasn't gonna say it, but he said it. Yeah, just go watch
it is a good show. Watch Billions.
Wealthy people into different things, people.
That is a crazy. Like when the guy's like, "I'm so rich, I can only get off if I think about money." I'm like, "That's fucked up." Like,
yeah. I mean, they when you got everything in your possession, what else do you look for?
Yeah.
Again, what's my quote of the year that I just saw this morning? That people are always surprised when the devil turns out to be the devil.
But that's why The Boys was so good early on, because it was like, what if this, like, of course superheroes would be fucked up and on drugs, because if you had the power to do this and that, normal people would like seem weird as fuck to you.
Mm-hmm.
Or, what was your favorite moment of the video?
Overall, seeing all my people back home together, that was great. Yeah, that was. I mean,
just like that was so LA with the like he went to the restaurant, the steak and sandwich place, or he went to that place.
He was in Compton. He went to Watts. It was good to see TDE as a collective together because people thought TDE broke up just because he left, or not TDE broke up, but they thought he had problems with topping them. Clearly said in the release before that album came out, hey, yeah, that snipping is phenomenal.
The opening, you mean?
Hey, I'm just going to do my own thing. Yeah, he said, I'm just going to do my own thing before Mr. Morale came out, which is a great album. He said, I'm just going to do my own thing. So it was great to see all of them together. The foundation as to where TDE started to now. These worldwide sensations started out here. So it was great to see that. It was also great, you know what I mean, to see the dance and everything. It's not a crit walk. You see these
Okay,
motherfuckers.
God,
So
like I
what?
told you, this man's Sam Rockwell. He just is dancing nonstop, and it scares me more than the rapping at this point. Like all he wants to do is, and then I'm like, can you stop? Because I'm like, something's gonna happen.
You you never play Majora's Mask Zelda, right?
Fuck no.
All right, so Rome probably knows because he plays games, or anybody else that's here, Steve. He's Majora's Mask. That's who K Dot is. He does his little crazy ass dance and he causes all this chaos. He got the moon that's about to shut down the earth. That's exactly who K Dot is.
I was always gonna say he's the guy that Scott Pilgrim fights the first time. The Patel when he does the and his powers come out like that's Kendrick Lamar showing up.
Didn't he dance in the Family Ties video? There you go, Deku Kid. Yeah, it's
I mean, Kendrick Lamar has like Hiei energy from Yu Hakusho, like this short dude
it
who's
runs.
like gonna shoot fire out of his hand and then like, oh shit, what do we do now? Like, but like he had D Rose, DeMar DeRozan. No one calls. Does anyone call DeMar DeRozan D Rose like that? Like
No,
that's
because
what
it's only one pool. It's Derrick Rose.
that's okay. All right, you know, like okay, we get it.
All right. Yeah, yeah. Don't disrespect Derrick Rose too.
I think Derrick Rose disrespects Derrick Rose. Again, when people have to
No,
always point out like he was weird being on stage with them dudes, but not in them rooms. Come on,
what do you mean by that?
what do you mean by that?
That
Anyway,
was all alleged anyway. You ain't
but
never had a. Never mind.
what's the number one thing I told you? I ain't into
You
that
ain't never
tag
got on
team
the
shit.
A train.
I ain't into that tag team shit. Hell no. Mm-mm.
Hey man, just because he wanted to do a buck super kick a different type of way don't mean nothing. Allegedly.
You want to do the Tower of Doom spot? Hell no. Hell no. Hell
Yeah,
no. No.
the Steiner move is better. But yeah,
Um,
he really wanted to be Rick Steiner.
but like you said, he got OTD. He got the my wife and kids. He put in the video. He did it all, and it's just like everything Drake
And
said.
them definitely his kids. Them ears say everything. I was like, yep,
That
that's
is,
the son.
it's the
Yeah.
dad. Why are my ears so big? I got the same thing. Look, they used to say,
Yeah.
they said the same shit about me. Like,
What do you do when your team when the beginning you stand? I mean, at this
I
point,
stand
OG, you don't
still.
gotta just stand still. Yeah.
No, I say like no, because Kiki has seen me watch a 49ers football game. And then I've told her how I watch the games at home alone. Like I just like
Oh, so you the real Kyle Shanahan?
yeah, that's why I relate to Kyle Shanahan so much because I'm just like it's out of my control. I can only watch. Like
Because when he win, he look nervous. When they lose,
yeah,
he like, oh shit, I might lose my
you know
job.
me for 4 years. When have I ever been confident? Probably 2 times.
Yeah, and that's definitely Kyle Shanahan because he like, oh shit,
Yeah,
we won. That's
yeah.
his face. We won. Oh,
That's why when the stat shows up of like he's never won a game from behind, I'm like
okay.
that's why he has that look because he's like it's the fourth quarter we're losing. We never win these fucking games. Like it's like I know the finish. Like it's a real sport, but I know the finish. Like
And that's what he did at the Super Bowl too. That's why he had the deadpan stare the entire fourth quarter
yeah,
at
and
the
that's
Super
me.
Bowl. Like,
That's me.
what's the meme? They said Bray moved the inch. That was it. He was
Yeah,
just
that's
frozen.
but yeah, no, I stand so. I mean, Drake can't win at this. This is like again, I've never seen. Again, this is the worst beatdown. We call like this beats Brock Lesnar in terms of like how bad of a beatdown this is. I can't even like, or even the one Pikachu beating up the other Pikachu. It's gone that bad at this point.
You
Or
want
the
to say
Superman
something to the
movie,
Rams fan?
or the Superman movie when they kept stabbing him with the kryptonite shiv. Like it's gone to that level of like, damn, this is depressing.
Again, you said it, then somebody else said it. This is Julius Caesar.
Yeah,
The Roman Empire is falling, brother. I think this is it.
but and what I know, Amp said like Drake just needs to do something. Like he needs to just drop something. I'm like, I don't think that helps either, if we're being honest, because Kendrick Lamar, I think he's got another card in his deck. Like it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Like blue eyes, white dragon, bitch. Like and then it's like
so apparently a snippet. I was gonna send you earlier a snippet of a song he did, which is vibes, as the kids say. If he just drops some vibes music and not mention anything, I think he'll be fine. Like just make some fun music.
no, I don't even mean a song related to Kendrick. I mean anything he does, I think it's just gonna be washed over because the internet is loving this burial. Like, think about a moment where we've seen a legit fall from grace that everyone's been excited about.
Did he?
No, guys, I think he was bigger than Diddy at this point, right? If we're being honest.
Yeah, because I can't even say Harvey Weinstein because nobody liked that fat piece of shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm legit like if Floyd Mayweather had lost a fight, would exactly that, or like if the Patriots' perfect season happened with today's Twitter instead of no Twitter, you know what I mean?
Bro,
I guess the goal
every 5 seconds.
I guess the 73 win Warriors because it was LeBron James winning.
Yeah, but those memes weren't that bad because it was more so people just like talking about LeBron going like Super Saiyan.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's nothing to equate where like you're literally at the king of the mountain. You're up there, and when you get knocked off, even people who liked you, like the whole point, like everyone keeps posting, like all the people again, the DeMar DeRozan thing says again, YG was on the stage. First of all, of course, people who have affiliations with that's again, just like in today's NBA, everyone's buddy.
Mm-hmm.
When Drake was saying all this shit, it was contradictory at the time of like, that's his man's too. Why are you trying to say like they picking sides? No one's picking sides because in today's society, there are no sides flip flop. We're in the flip flop side.
Yeah.
But
it's like you said, I think people just eventually, even if they liked him, they just want to see a downfall just because it's cute. It's just like with pro wrestling Twitter and like how you talk about the people involved. They just wanted to see it just because. People just want to see the downfall just because. Even if you like this person, it's cute little. It's why I hate fucking social media and I hate people. I'm sorry to sound like I was just full of anger at that second, but this is how I feel. This is how
I sound like I was full of anger 20 minutes ago. So.
Yeah, this is how we feel, man. I mean, balls, but this is how.
Again, we're angry beavers.
This might be the title too. Instead of Yob, 2 angry beavers.
No, yeah. 2 angry
like,
beavers with no yob.
Having Smiley as
yeah, I don't want to say what I want to say because it would be very mean spirited. But like, yeah,
about Smiley, I ain't seen that kid in 2 years.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm rapping about.
I ain't seen Roy Woods in a minute either.
Manny probably knows where Roy Woods is.
Working with him.
Yeah, shout out to Manny.
Like, bruh, and Nav is with Weekend, right?
Yeah, I don't. Now you're getting. Now, all right, don't.
Yeah, because I forgot his house got shut up being Drake over that shit. Look, again, R&B singers are the real gangsters, people. All the rapper shit, they gonna dance and be cute. R&B singers will get you touched up.
Yeah, because I think there's something darker to having to be charming on stage compared to having to be tough on stage. So that's a whole nother conversation. I'd love to have that because you would know more in depth about that than because that's thing that I'm saying, like when ROP ran through everyone who had bad shit, like so and so was doing this, so and so was doing that. They were talking. I'm like, God damn, man, these are men who are like, oh, no, like, and it's like. Meanwhile, at home, he's like, good. It's alcohol. It's alcohol first, and then drugs.
It's so many things involved. But if you want me to go to a spiritual level, again, it's the whole thing of the devil being the creator of music or really good at music, and then they say the devil was like handsome, very attractive, not like this little creature. I guess spawn. So that's
to bring full circle. That's devil is a lie. Yeah, 69. Like that brings it again right there. Like he's saying this guy, like he does his all when that hotline bling. Like, and then he's like, meanwhile, what happens on that hotline, Drake? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's
Don't, and then he basically an R&B singer being Drake. If you want to keep it a buck,
no, yeah. That's why all this again. That's why it was never again. I'm not shocked because when again listen to the music. Does this sound like a guy who probably wouldn't do shit like this? Come on,
Teenage Fever is a blatant giveaway.
yeah,
Like, and he's talking about
but
Georgia Smith of all of 20 years. I
yeah,
get it, but I would have waited a couple years because now she look. I know some motherfuckers. I was about to say something wild. I can't say it.
no,
I
say
know
it, say
y'all
it.
body shaming her because she big.
That's
I
stupid.
don't give
Yeah.
a damn.
First of all,
I don't give a
she's not
damn.
even big is a construct because even though I really don't like talking about women like that or women like that on the air, but like the way she's built,
See,
you're not gonna be attracted to a woman again. Like look at
I'm
Thames,
more
you're not gonna be
attracted
attracted.
now.
To me, it's both.
Listen,
Like, to
Sue.
me, I'm Tommy Dreamer. I'll have them both. I'm hardcore. Like that's like,
Oh,
like
that could be the
that's.
title. That's wild. Because Tim's and look, Tim's and
Oh, that's.
David Smith, brother. What they say, the blue chew, yeah.
Okay.
That's my Brock Lesnar 2012. I take one of them.
Oh
Like,
no, that's the
super
one guy
black.
you don't want to use when. Yeah, you know,
Why?
because what he was doing.
He ain't pee on my sister.
All right. That you know what? We're again. Thank you all for tuning in. We really haven't been trying to go 2 hours. We're almost over 2 hours. Not almost. We are over 2.5 hours at this point. But yeah, I apologize. Like I said, it was on me. I needed some time.
No, it
And
ain't. It's on me. Let me
no,
be clear
because
about
you
this.
can no. Shut up. Like,
No, let me be clear because this
I'm gonna be like,
jabroni was our
I'm
boss.
gonna be like
Damn,
Cartman, like, shut up, kitty.
no, let me be clear. What the fuck you just say? Anyhow, that caught me way off guard. Anyhow, I'm about to say something wild. Boy, y'all, yeah, God is working on me. Anyhow, uh,
See, even that's a trick line. I'm still working on me.
yeah, no, God is working on me. 'Cause I was, I was about to say something. Anyhow, Davis likes to do this thing where he's like, I want Banks to get a break and all this. I don't take breaks, brother. I'm never gonna take a break.
That is true because you got to say that on Wiretap. And I'm like, see, I get mad when people make like, because I do try to look after people. I do try to do something like that. But like I said, I wasn't also feeling that well. The past month and a half or so. But no, again, it's just stuff related to this. Where like people don't watch if it's by myself and I'd rather pod with you. And when you got the time, we're always going to record. But again, you were killing it with Amp. You, like I said, you and Eve always kill whenever y'all record. I love tuning into that. Wiretap, Black and Unstable Patreon, tune into that. Random Acts Podcast Patreon, tune into that. But that's the reason we haven't had episodes. I just wasn't up to doing episodes by myself, just based on how I was feeling. And Banks was working. Plus, I've been working too, and I've been lifting the weights. I think the thing we've been doing is talk about diets and all that. And yeah. You want to go to here's the thing. Since John Cena is
we have a
retired,
WNBA.
no. I want to talk about it when the Olympics are going on because when the Olympics are happening, baseball will kind of be going on, but not too much will be going on because WNBA season will be stopped and other things. And that's probably when I'll be catching up on wrestling is when the Olympics are happening, because the sports will kind of stand still and it'll be easier for me to catch up on. And like I said, Beverly Hills Cop 4 will probably be on the next episode, but. The Gladiator 2 photos. Yeah, like we already agree that's gonna be the movie. It'll probably have the performance of the year, what Denzel's gonna do in that movie. But yeah, but like when Banks is free, we're always gonna record.
No, next
Yeah, like
weekend
said,
we'll be back. Cut the shit. We'll be back next week.
Shit, what was I gonna say?
Hey, they mine as well, Keith.
Damn it, I had something I was gonna say, but I legit forgot.
No, Rakia and Angel Reese, my rookie.
With John Cena retiring. Banks says he and I gotta go to Las Vegas
for Mania next year. I'm gonna be there. You gonna come too, but I'm gonna be there. Pause. You gonna come?
I don't know how.
Shit, God gonna make a way. I guarantee you, I'm gonna be there.
What's it called? I said the next time we do an in-person episode, we're doing the Triple H Scott Steiner pose off. Because I'll be ready by then. Where he got in front of Triple H and did the bigger, like that's what's going to happen.
You're going to get your ass on the flight. We're going to figure it out.
That's what's gonna happen. Is
Yeah.
we're gonna do a Triple H Scott Steiner pose off.
Load
But
up
I
the
can't do the
bench.
arm wrestling contest or the bench press contest, but I can do the pose off.
Unless you're gonna be just a little PD pump. That's it.
Again, I sent you the Laps fans episode of them covering Creed, and they talked for 20 solid minutes about DDP and Page and what he had said about him behind stage and behind the stage and all that, and it was off the cuff and white trash. The guy does it on the episode. We're like, that's the most Scott Steiner saying is white trash with that Detroit accent, like. But
Bro, when he called Tyson Tomko that like 5 times within a minute.
well, Tyson Tomko had, as Lapsman said, he had an Affliction shirt for tattoos. Okay, so like his whole body was an Affliction shirt. Like, why are your tattoos just sharp edges? Like, but
that should tell you everything you need to know.
Again, follow whatever Banks is doing wherever he's at. You can follow me on Twitter at Davis, aka Drip, Instagram daviscoltondc. I haven't heard those Tommy Richmond songs. I'm being 100% truthful. I haven't heard
$1 Million Baby.
Nope. She sends it to me.
Really?
I don't even press play on it. She sends it to me. I don't even press play because that's a real hate. That's what real hating is. You like it?
No, that $1 Million Baby song kind of go. I ain't gonna hold you.
So here and all right, this is classic 180 Banks. When the consensus, see, Amp was right when he said Banks likes all the shit other people. No. When Banks was like Amp's like Banks likes everything else people hate or likes weird shit, like that whole cucumber Gatorade. I was like, see, that's the most Banks shit ever right there.
That shit is good. I'm about to go grab some right now if I can find it.
Yeah, but no, I'm not listening to no Tommy. Again, I don't listen to white rappers. The Eminem thing, at this point, it's DNA, it's symbiote. I don't listen to it all the time, but I still have to go back to my roots. But any new white rapper, no, I don't check out.
I like Drake. He a white rapper.
I mean, he was, according to Rick Ross. That's still your favorite moment. White boy?
White boy?
Where do you think you're going, white boy? It was good.
Beat up by the way.
That was, again, when he's like Vancouver. I'm like, first of all, Vancouver is practically America. All right, let's calm down.
Yeah,
like,
bruh. Thank you. Like, if you go up north of Washington, you low key in Vancouver.
That's the whole point. Yeah.
More.
That's literally why the tax credits are so good for filming shit.
People don't know that.
No, that's the whole point of like the tax credits for filming TV shows are like, it's Canada, but it might as well have been America. They could have just pushed up the line a little bit more. But
and then also, if y'all don't know about Washington, a lot of people that couldn't make it in California, like the Bay Area in LA, they go straight to Washington. Like Swerve Strickland people is probably from California.
Don't give me.
They moved up here and made him a loser.
Don't give me. That's your man's though.
Yeah, I aspire to dress like him, but I can't find them outfits. I ain't found a sauce and swap meet nearby.
It's not that hard to dress like him. All you got to do is be blind. So,
cool.
I can't say what I want to say because then I'll sound like a hater. But then, yeah.
I mean, good job having the title. That match was ass, and it wasn't because.
But yeah, I mean, Washington, they had Nirvana. They had Pearl Jam. Big Eddie Vedder was from Chicago, so.
Who the fuck was Idaho? Anyhow.
They have short Isaiah Thomas. They have Jamal Crawford. They have Paulo Banchero. They have a lot of basketball players, yeah.
Delonte West.
Was he from Washington?
Yeah, Jameer Nelson. Him and Jameer Nelson was on the same team.
God damn, that's a nasty combination.
Barry. Damn, who else from? Oh, Nate Robinson.
Nate Robinson, Zach LaVine.
Shit, Zach is from there.
I guess that's it. Yeah, I can think about that.
Yeah, I can't think of football players from.
Oh, Danny O'Brien. See.
Wait, you said Pablo from Washington? I never knew that.
Pablo, yeah.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, the story was Jamal Crawford and then like he showed up to games with a grown man body while he was 14. Like that's how they knew. That's what Jamal Crawford and they were like. That's how they knew he was going to be good because at 14 he was already 6'8", 200 or whatever he is. Like
About 220, 230.
yeah, but I can't think of anyone else. Oh, Darby Allin's from Washington. See, yeah. So the greatest people from Washington
Really?
are probably Daniel Bryan and Darby Allin.
Javante there too? That's what's up. I didn't know all this shit.
I thought there would be a football player. I'm trying to think.
That's what I'm saying.
There probably is
No,
that we're forgetting, but I'm just trying to think of like a superstar one.
I I
But
can't think of any.
again, like, subscribe, share, all that. We really appreciate it if you share. Like, so we got new followers somehow over a month of inactivity. The last episode I did was with Double G. Shout out to him and the Bay Area Sports Network and the Fight Game Media Network. We talked about Bay Area sports and all that, and we previewed Bad Boys 4 and Beverly Hills Cop 4 because he was excited about those. But you and I hadn't recorded in a minute. But yeah, don't fuck with short people, y'all. That's the lesson in life. Samoans and short people, don't fuck with them.
On that note, we out.